Good evening and yes, good evening and welcome. The time is now 6:35 and I would like to call the March 24th meeting of the Cibolo City Council to order. We're going to do roll call and excused absences. Councilman Randy Roberts wrote in that he is traveling for his work. I need a motion to excuse.
I make a motion to excuse Randy.
Second. I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. This evening, we will be having the invocation from Chaplain Ray Huff, the chaplain of our police department. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members, our city leaders and staff, and to our residents of Cibolo. Let us pray. Almighty God, we pause this evening to acknowledge your presence among us. We thank you for this community we call home, for its people, its families, and the shared hope we hold for a bright future. We ask for your wisdom and guidance upon our mayor and each member of the City Council. Grant them clarity of mind, integrity in decision-making, and a spirit of unity as they lead. May their choices reflect what is just, what is right, and what serves the common good of all the residents of Cibolo. Lord, we lift up the city staff who serve faithfully each day. Strengthen them in their work and bless their efforts in this community. We also pray for the men and women of our police and fire departments. Lord, place your protection around them as they serve courageously. Grant them safety in every call, wisdom in every situation, and peace in their hearts as they protect and care for this community. And Lord, we remember those from this community who serve in our military. Wherever duty has taken them, Lord, watch over them, protect them in their duties, and bring comfort and strength to their families at home. Lord, we entrust this council meeting to you. May it honor you and bring good to all. In your holy and mighty name, amen. Amen. Amen.
And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're going to move on to 5A, presentation of awards and recognition. Recognition of the fire department staff for their actions at 513 Zoller Way on January 29th, 2026 during a structure fire with a trapped occupant. Chief, good evening and welcome, and we're excited to see this. Thank you.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. The purpose of this item is to recognize the exceptional performance of the Cibolo Fire Department personnel during a residential structure fire on January 29th, 2026, involving a trapped occupant at 513 Zoller Way. Firefighters acted swiftly and decisively to locate the rescue victim from the second-story bedroom without a hose line while suppression efforts were ongoing. Their coordinated actions, effective communication, and commitment to life safety resulted in a successful rescue under high-risk conditions. This incident reflects the crucial importance of ongoing training, hard work, and teamwork, and stands as a strong example of professionalism demonstrated by our fire personnel. I would also like to recognize the vital support provided by our partners, including the Cibolo Police Department, Schertz Fire Department, Schertz EMS, and the Guadalupe County Fire Marshal's Office during this incident. Together, their efforts highlight the strength of our regional partnership and our shared commitment to protecting our citizens of Cibolo. At this time, I would like to present a life-saving award to FAO Cody Weber and firefighter David Vogt.
Wait, hold on. Did you want a picture with all of them or at the end?
I got some more words at the end. Now, at this time, I would like to present an Outstanding Recognition Award to the following members: Lieutenant Jacob Hillhouse, Lieutenant Blade Torres, Firefighter David Beck, Firefighter Miles Bentz, Firefighter Nicholas Delgado, Firefighter Jared Strait, and Firefighter Tyler Pearson.
Will you share with council the story the way that after all of it? Jacob? You guys are like standing right there as I pick it up.
And Mayor and Council, just wanted to reiterate that on that day, January 29, 2026, around lunchtime, we were responding to a structure fire. Upon on location, working structure fire, units arrived within minutes. First arriving unit made entry through the alpha side of the structure, went straight to fire attack. The second arriving unit was truck 20, and they went straight to primary search. They went straight to the second floor. So without a hose line, and that's a tactic that we teach and they train on day in and day out. We work through this, the hard work that they do day in and day out is proven in this incident alone. We've always talked about the Super Bowl. That was our Super Bowl. And by their decisions and their actions, made a good outcome for our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We really are so appreciative of our firefighters and our police, but tonight especially our firefighters for their outstanding professionalism in the work that they do to train every day, their physical body, their mental mind, and their brotherhood and sisterhood of the firehouse, and how you support each other and rely on each other in those very difficult and challenging situations. And I thank you, and all of Cibolo thanks you for your service to us as a community. Without you, we would be less safe. So thank you. Thank you. And now I would like us to get to 6A, the proclamation for the Horizon Pregnancy Resource.
Proclamation recognizing Horizon Pregnancy Resources. Whereas strong communities are enriched when individuals and families are supported with care, compassion, and access to reliable information during important life decisions. And whereas Horizon Pregnancy Resources serves women and families facing unexpected pregnancies by offering compassionate support, practical guidance, and resources to help them navigate important decisions with confidence. And whereas Horizon Pregnancy Resources provides parenting education, adoption support, etc., to help families explore their options and equips parents with knowledge and encouragement as they prepare to welcome and care for their children. And whereas the work of Horizon Pregnancy Resources reflects a commitment to serving the health, well-being, and dignity of women, children, and families within our region, of which 17% are from Cibolo. And now, therefore, Mayor Kara Latimer of the City of Cibolo, Texas, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and citizens, proudly recognize and commend Horizon Pregnancy Resources for their service and contributions to the women, children, and families of Cibolo. In testimony whereof the mayor has signed by her name officially and caused the seal of the City of Cibolo to be affixed on this, the 24th day of March, 2026.
And now I would like to invite Leah Watson and her team to come forward to receive their proclamation. Thank you. Moving on to 6B, the proclamation. We are so blessed here in the city of Cibolo today for Evelyn Bueller Wilson Matoyer Pierce for her 100th birthday. She is here with us today. And Ms. Brown will read her proclamation. Yes, proclamation.
Proclamation by the Mayor of the City of Cibolo to all whom these presents shall come. Recognition of 100th birthday of Evelyn Beulah Wilson Metoyer Pierce. Whereas Evelyn was born on March 28, 1926 in New Orleans, Louisiana, to Charles Isaiah Wilson Sr. and Beulah Sarah Ann Carter. And whereas Evelyn grew up grounded in faith, family, and perseverance that held fast throughout her life. And whereas she married John Maurice Morris Metoyer Sr., and they raised 8 children together before she became a widow in 1950. Oh, 10. Sound like my family. Whereas after moving to Phoenix, Arizona, and the passing of her husband, she and her children were honored by the Phoenix Urban League as the Family of the Year. And whereas Evelyn remarried in 1974 to Emmett Caldwell Pierce, and they moved to California, where she remained active in church ministry, mentoring, and community outreach, even after his passing after 22 years of marriage. And whereas Evelyn has remained devoted to her faith and service to others by serving faithfully in her church ministry as a teacher, prayer warrior, and spiritual mentor while ministering to residents in local nursing homes, offering encouragement, prayer, and fellowship, and inspiring and uplifting those around her with her talents to play piano and sing. And whereas Evelyn moved to Cibolo, Texas in 2019 to be closer to her youngest daughter and family, where she has continued her dedication to family, faith, and service. And now, therefore, Mayor Latimer, Mayor of the City of Cibolo, Texas, on behalf of the City Council and residents, wish to honor Evelyn Pierce for her long life, prosperity, and find it a privilege for our community that she celebrates her 100th birthday settled here in our community. In testimony whereof, Mayor Lattimore signed, caused to be affixed the Great Seal of the City of Cibolo on the 24th day of March, 2026. Beautiful. Happy birthday to
Moving on to 7, citizens to be heard. This is the only time during the council meeting that a citizen can address the city council. It is the opportunity for visitors and guests to address the city council on any issue to include agenda items. All visitors wishing to speak must fill out the sign-in roster prior to the start of the meeting. City council may not deliberate any non-agenda issue, nor may any action be taken on any non-agenda issue at this time. However, City Council may present any factual response to items brought up by citizens. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body. Remarks may also be addressed to any individual of the council so long as the remarks are about matters of local public concern and not disruptive to the meeting or threatening to the member or any attendee, including city staff. Any person violating this policy may be required to leave the meeting, but no person may be requested to leave or forced to leave the meeting because of the viewpoint expressed. Citizens who want to submit written comments to be read during the citizens' comment portion of the City Council meeting should include their name, address, and reason why they are unable to attend the meeting at which they want their comments read. Comments must be submitted to the city secretary at cibolotx.gov no later than 2 p.m. prior to the city council meeting. All comments received that include the required information will be provided to the mayor and council and may be summarized or read at the meeting at the discretion of the presiding officer. This meeting is live streamed. First on the citizens to be heard is Amy Reynolds. Annie Reynolds? Amy.
My name is Amy Reynolds, and I'm not only a Cibolo business owner, but I'm also a current board director for the Chamber, Schertz, Cibolo, Selma area. On behalf of our Chamber and our president, Maggie Titterington, I wish to express our wholehearted support of the approval of Agenda Items 12F and 12G concerning the EDGE grants for two of our Chamber members, River City Ace Hardware and Max and Louise New York Diner. Unanimously approved by the EDC board last Thursday, these two businesses combined are investing over $6 million in our city and providing almost 200 jobs for our area. They are committed to being part of the city of Cibolo. Even before being built and opened, both are already involved in the community and looking forward to doing even more by creating and promoting community events, supporting nonprofit fundraising for entities such as SCUC Foundation, and supporting a better quality of life for all citizens of the city of Cibolo. Awarding these two grants not only supports what the city of Cibolo stands for, encouraging positive business growth, but also supports the mission of the Cibolo EDC, which in part states, to retain and assist in the expansion of existing industries while creating a high quality of life for citizens. Both businesses will do exactly this. Thank you for your consideration, and thank you also in anticipation for your approval of these two grants. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mike Eklund. Hi, good evening and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I guess that's turned on. Thanks for having us. We really do appreciate it. My family and I are here. Shannon and Cameron in the back, my oldest daughter. We're pleased to be here and nice to meet all of you guys. How we got here, we've been working on a project for the better part of 3 years with a very important member of the Economic Development Board here in Cibolo, Clancy. He's kind of guided us through the process to bring an Ace Hardware and an Ace Handyman business into the area. Thought I'd tell you a little bit about our family, maybe a little bit about the project, how we chose Ace, how we chose Cibolo, and then also some of the details of the project for what it's worth. A little bit about our family first. I spent most of my career on the road traveling. Decided to retire about 1.5 years ago. And when I decided to retire 1.5 years ago, I looked around myself and none of my daughters were around, right? I've got 3 older daughters, all out of college. One was in Florida, one was in Nashville, and one was in New York City. And I thought to myself a little bit, I want to be like Evelyn, right? Like if I'm going to spend the next 30 years, I want to spend the next 30 years doing something with people I love, learning, growing, sharing together. And that's where the idea of us getting into business together was kind of born. And it really is a long-term investment for our family and a passion for our family. We chose Ace because they're a great company, great brand. They're a company of faith, and then also we're owners and operators. They're a big corporation. We're not. We're owners and operators. It's all of our investment, and we chose getting into them because of the great brand that sits behind it. We chose Cibolo. Interestingly enough, if you go to Houston, Dallas, Austin, each of those cities, 2 of them have over 60 Ace Hardware stores. Austin has 15 or 20. San Antonio has 2 for whatever reason, and it's a $20 billion company spread out across the U.S. So when we looked at the San Antonio market, we were intrigued by that, not scared by that. And so we kind of had our pick of cities to come to, and we spent a lot of time with the Ace team. Their team is in Chicago, looking at the economic valuation of where should we be and where is the best place to put it. And long story short, Cibolo rise to the top of that, and we chose Cibolo as the place that we wanted to make that investment. And we've been working on it for several years to get to this point. And so that's a great compliment to the city, to guys like Clancy that guided us through the process, and everybody else in the city that's worked with us to get to this point. A little bit about the project. We're investing in an Ace Hardware store and an Ace Handyman store. We're consumers of all of these goods. And when, we're always looking for somebody to do work. There's a little bit of an imbalance between trade and trying to get this work done around the city and the country and everywhere else, and we thought we could hopefully fill some of that void. So we're pretty excited about that piece of it. We personally, I think they mentioned it earlier, our personal investment in the store is about $2 million of cash, so it's a significant investment from our family into the community. We've got another $4 million that's invested in a 10-year lease with an option to extend it beyond that. And so we're here for the duration. Our lease is 10 years with 4 5-year options to extend. If this works well, we'll be here for the next 30 years in the city, and we're pretty excited about that. We've opened up all of our recs recently to hire. Cameron, my oldest daughter, is kind of leading that process right now. We hope to hire 40 to 50 people over the next year, year and a half in the city of a variety of different jobs. So we appreciate you guys listening to us. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for your consideration on the grant that the team is putting forward to you tonight as well. Nice to meet all of you guys.
Thank you. Ms. Sherry McDaniel. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I come before you this evening to speak on Agenda Item 12H regarding the reconsideration of the CRWA Board of Trustee nominee for the City of Cibolo. I currently serve on the CRWA Board of Trustees as Treasurer and Chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, a role that I've held since May of 2025. When Councilwoman Danetta Roberts was appointed last year to complete the remainder of Tim Foos's term, I invited her to serve on the Budget Committee. In that role, she was instrumental in helping develop CRWA's FY 2026 budget, and she's actively contributing as we begin planning for the FY 2027 budget. Over the past year, Councilwoman Roberts has made a deliberate effort to educate herself on CRWA's finances, water projects, water leases, and operational processes. She regularly attends Budget Committee, Construction Committee, and Board of Managers meetings to deepen her understanding of how a regional water authority operates. She was also recently appointed as chair of the Legislative Affairs Committee. Her dedication, work ethic, and willingness to learn have made her a valuable and effective trustee. Continuity in this role is important, and we'd be losing a knowledgeable and engaged member of our board. I have no doubt that the mayor would serve well in this position. However, there is a learning curve associated with this role, and the mayor already carries significant responsibilities serving the city. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the council to consider reappointing Councilwoman Danetta Roberts to the CRWA Board of Trustees for a 2-year term starting in May. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. And Drew Golick? Drew, sorry. Glick. Hello and welcome.
So first of all, the timer, I think, was created for me because I was very long-winded. I am long-winded by nature, and last week I was a little long-winded, and so thank you for the timer. There we go. First of all, my friend Adam Bergenfeld is here with me. Adam and I have been friends since we're 14. We both turned 60 this past year. He now works with me full-time, and we're building a lot of things together, so it's very exciting. So I'm very appreciative that Adam's here. Clancy, thank you for and everybody in your team and everybody here for helping me with all this that we've been doing lately. So 2016, I opened up Max & Louis in San Antonio. It was an idea that I had in the little file cabinet in the back of my head since the 1980s. And my uncle, who was a surgeon in San Antonio, called me one day and said, "Why don't you move here? We'll open up a deli and have some fun." And if it was that easy, that would have been great, but it wasn't. But it's so we have built an amazing business. Melissa, who is my Benny Keith rep for the last 15 years, lives in Cibolo. She's lived in Cibolo for about 20 years, I think. She said, "Why don't you open up a place in Cibolo?" And I'm like, "Cibolo? All I see is cows and tumbleweeds and But that was 3 years ago. Now look at everything that's gone on. I didn't know any better. Now I do know better because it's unbelievable what's going on. We just signed a 10-year lease, 5 years, so we're committed for 20 plus years. We just hired 120 employees in the last few weeks. We are about 2 months behind schedule and about $1 million over budget, but we're going to be open hopefully by the end of April is where you're getting at. We just need gas. So if anybody has any connections to Centerpoint, help me out with that. We're getting closer. But we're just very excited. Some of you got a little tour from me the other day and saw what we're doing. Last week I came in a jacket and looked a little better. I'm on a job site all day and full of dust, so I apologize for the casualness. But I'm just very appreciative for everybody who's involved in helping us get this grant and who are going to hopefully be regular customers at Max and Louie's and Melvin's. Max was my great uncle. Louie was my grandfather. Melvin was my father. Melvin's is our ice cream, and especially we make every bit of ice cream from scratch in our place. It's just a very scratch place. It's 9,000 square feet. It'll seat almost 400 people inside and out. The blinds, I committed to blinds. So we're doing the blinds. That's about $30,000 that I wasn't planning on, but we're just committed to that. It's just going to be an unbelievable place, and we just are very thankful to be in Cibolo and for all of you to be a part of it. And thank you for your time tonight and for your time last week. And I'm going to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you. And then I have one citizens to be heard that wrote in. This is from Courtney Kempe. There are 2 easements that Frank Moreno, the Saddle Creek Ranch developer, deeded to Saddle Creek Ranch HOA without our consent. The top photo, there's photos attached, is the easement dividing our oldest and newest section. The bottom photo is an easement dividing us from Heights of Cibolo. The developer left the containment barrier, the black poly stakes and wire in these easements for years. It is my understanding that removal of these items is required by the EPA and by the state, and she provides the connection. This should have happened before the neighborhood was recommended to be closed. This garbage has cost already, as we have paid for removal once, but all debris could not be found. It has damaged the equipment of our landscaper. It also prevents us from proper code compliance with the city, which is our current issue. We have brought this issue to the council in the past, and nothing has been done by the developer. We would like assistance in holding the developer accountable on this issue, or some assistance from the city with the removal. Thank you for any help you can offer, Courtney. So I think she's referencing the silt fence.
And Mayor, is there a map that you're referencing?
Yes,
so
sir. I will hand that to you.
Okay. And I will direct our Public Works Department and Code Enforcement to have that removed appropriately. So as soon as you give me that map, I'll make sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if
Oh,
you
thank
could
you.
please follow up in an email to Councilwoman Roberts and myself, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Now on to consent agenda. All items listed below are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered as part of the order of business. So I have 8A, approval of the January 2026 revenue and expense report pending final acceptance of the city financial audit for the 25-26 fiscal year. 8B, approval of the January 2026 check register. 8C, approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting on March 10th, 2026. 8D, approval of the minutes from the city council workshop on March 10th, 2026.
Mayor, I would like to have 8D corrected, as that workshop was not a council planning and zoning commissioner workshop. It was solely a council workshop. So that title
Oh, I
does
didn't
need to be
see that.
corrected, please. And that's number 8D.
So then it would be a motion to approve with the amendment to 8D.
Correct. I make a motion to approve consent agenda items with an amendment to 8D.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Okay, moving, thank y'all. Wait until it comes through. 9, mayor follow-up. I have promised to put the Union Pacific Railroad tracks, sidewalk over the railroad tracks on my agenda until we get it done. I'm sure we will hear something in Mr. Reed's report, so please know I'm still looking for that. On 9B, I had written a letter that was attached to the agenda item. I have no desire to read it to you today unless you all want it read. But basically, this is talking about regional outreach. As we get ready to go into our strategic plan, I would like us to consider making one of our strategic plans that council is more engaged and a part of our strategic partners. So that pretty much sums up anything. So does anybody have anything they'd like to add to that?
Could you just elaborate a little bit more, Mayor, of what the expectation is?
So we have several regional partners like the MPO, ACOG, our GBEC. These are regional players, or even the NEP for that matter, that they're regional players that bring federal dollars, Texas Water Development Board regions. They help us to bring development dollars or federal dollars into our plans, and being a part of those regional plans is a way to participate and receive assistance. Anything from Meals on Wheels to having our floodplain be considered by FEMA. So as we get into the strategic plan, that's what I would hope we would maybe be able to begin having conversations about what that looks like for council's participation. Yeah. Did you have anything, Marissa? Okay.
You said what it would look like for our participation?
Right. I would like the council to facilitate how we engage,
How we're going
how
to
we
be engaged.
share
Okay.
the information from the engagement, and make sure that we have coverage and support for our regional partnerships and building those relationships.
And so this is a plan that we're going to come up with?
Well, at the strategic planning workshop, I think it's something that it's identified, our strategic partners are identified on the plan, but our role in how we engage in them is not necessarily outlined.
I think
or how
that's a great idea.
how we can support one another in that engagement.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Valerie. Okay, I'm going to move to Saddle Creek Ranch. And I actually do, I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Thank you. Where's the attachment? I'm going to read this. It's a little bit long and it's a little bit more boring, but it is important. And this is about drainage in Saddle Creek Ranch. So I want to take a moment to explain to the public and to council a question that I've raised about our stormwater and drainage in the community, in our community, particularly in the area around Saddle Creek Ranch and FM 1103, the 1103 crossing right there. First, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not an engineer, and I do respect the work that those professional engineers do when they design drainage systems for new developments. And each development that comes before this city includes a drainage study prepared and stamped by licensed engineers. From everything that I can see, our city and the developments that we have were reviewed and appear to meet the standards that apply to them. My concern is not about whether any single project followed the rules. The question I'm raising is about something larger, how multiple developments interact within the same watershed over time. And when we look at the developments such as Saddle Creek Ranch, Cibolo Farms, Grace Valley Ranch, and Legendary Trails, several phases from these projects all appear to drain towards the same tributary before the water eventually passes under FM 1103 and continues downstream. But those are not the only developments that are in that watershed that drain that direction. There are also other subdivisions upstream that were approved by different jurisdictions where the city of Cibolo did not have the platting authority, and those subdivisions may also contribute runoff into that same drainage system. So our platting responsibility, our city platting responsibility, is to ensure that the subdivisions we review meet the required drainage standards, and each project demonstrates that through its own engineered analysis. We have that with our plan review. However, when several developments across multiple jurisdictions feed into the same tributaries, it raises a broader question for me. Has the entire watershed been evaluated together to ensure the system remains safe as all of these developments build out? And when multiple tributaries combine within a watershed, it is a common practice occasionally to review the cumulative assumptions as development progresses. Because the city does not have control of the watershed, we do not have the resources to conduct that, nor is it our responsibility to conduct a full watershed scale study on our own. My goal is to work with our staff to inform you and to gather the stormwater information we do have, bringing it to the appropriate regional and federal authorities. In other words, we can say, here's the drainage information from the developments within our jurisdiction. Can you please help us? So all of that is to say that right there at the top of where the new development of Saddle Creek Ranch is, there was a letter of map revision for the floodplain. And I would like for our city to bring it to the Watershed Authority and to make sure that we are continuing to keep that area safe. Any questions? Thank you. And 10, staff updates, administration, a capital improvement program, updates on project from Main Street, sidewalks across Railroad, planning SB 1555 grant, planning Veterans Nimitz Park renovation, planning Community Center renovation Phase 2, planning FM 78 water main extension under construction, FM 78 sewer rehabilitation under construction, FM 1103 utility relocation, design Deer Creek Boulevard, Cordero to Falling Sun, substantial completion of FY 25 street rehabilitation package 2, under construction Silver Wing, Cibolo Valley Drive to Thistle Creek, Town Creek Road, Green Valley Road to Bentwood Pass, Firebird Run, Silver Wing to Kipper Avenue, and Tolly Road design, Town Creek Trail design.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So my updates tonight, all of this is in a draft email that I'll hit send on after I give you this update. The new information includes Main Street sidewalk across the railroad, the UPRR Railroad, is that the diagnostic meeting was held March 19th. Staff is working with our consultant on revisions based upon UPRR's comments on site, and they will be, once they submit those revisions to UPRR, they will be scheduling another follow-up. On Veterans Nimitz Park renovations, staff will present the recommendations to City Council at an April City Council meeting. So I'm looking forward to that and your direction on how to proceed with a Phase 1 development, although you'll be presented with a master plan, how we proceed within the funds that are available. The Community Center renovations Phase 2, the architect met with IT and staff on the final design. Staff is reviewing 100% design. Once that is complete, that will go out to bid, and then that'll be about a 30-day bid period. And we, again, are projecting to wrap this project up sometime in October with completion. On FM 78 sewer rehabilitation, construction is 78%. Testing of the new line will be conducted with within the next week. Site restoration will commence once testing is complete. Deer Creek Boulevard, the contractor has completed long lane striping work. As if you've been driving on Deer Creek Boulevard, you will have seen that. Contractor will complete a short line this week, delay due to down equipment. Bless you. Under the street rehab package number 2, there's a little gnat or something flying in front of my face. So, the Town Creek Road is 80% of the flat work is complete. So that being driveways, curb, elevated sidewalk to the trail. They're working on manhole adjustments, and then the asphalt work, that would be the second lift, will start the week of April the 6th. Firebird Run, the contractor has completed curb installation. The contractor is currently working on driveways and sidewalks. Under RFPs and such, we are meeting with one of the a company that submitted a proposal for our wayfinding sign program. We'll be bringing that agreement with that company forward to council once we iron out any details that we need to work on before bringing it in front of council. There is no update on out-of-state travel, nothing new that I'm aware of. And then Council Strategic Management Workshop, March 28th. We'll talk a little bit more on this, but part of the agenda is a break from 9:50 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. because of the Easter egg hunt. And so just want council to be aware. We are having a successful recruitment for vendors and sponsors for this event. And so we have over 20 vendors. The Easter egg hunt begins at 10 a.m. So your break is at 9:50 a.m. There is an opportunity for the mayor to make opening remarks. And then the mayor is going to get out of the way of those kids because you don't want to be between kids and Easter eggs in the field. And there are 2 waves, and there is a $300 golden egg in the mix. I want to thank our sponsors for their donations, and they did this through our sponsorship event page online. So Marina Nell Lounge gave a $200 contribution as an event sponsor. Camacho Hernandez and Associates provided the $300 for the golden egg. So we're very appreciative of businesses that want to partner with us and give back to their community. Mayor, Council, that is all for tonight.
Hey, I have a quick question, Mr. Reed. You said Deer Creek, that it was delayed due to down equipment. Did they give any estimate timeline? Are we talking like it's delayed a couple days? Is it a week? Because we were telling everyone that it would be done by the end of this week, because I drove today and I didn't see anyone out there, so.
I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Gomez to provide you that detail.
I talked to D&D today, and they'll be out there tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And so still done by end of week, Mr. Gomez?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Moving on to 10B, Police Department Monthly Report. Okay. I'm going to go back to 9C on the mayor's follow-up for the viewing meeting information and agenda link. Would you like to show, put it on the?
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
And Mayor
Mr.
Tracy Beekman is going to just say a few words and highlight
Fantastic.
some features, or a feature at least, that's in Agenda Link that may be of interest to council members.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So Agenda Link, if you are using it on your iPad, you can get through it by going to Safari. You can actually save the URL in your favorites, so that way it's always there. Just bookmark it in Safari, and we'll give you that URL right now. So this is where you'd want to go to get to Agenda Link for logging in. So in Agenda Link, you can actually take notes within Agenda Link. They're private for you. I'm also going to show you where you can go and get some, they have videos out there, and it has instructions on how to do things within Agenda Link, specifically for board members. So
Okay, I want to just back up for a second. You said in Agenda Link, we can take notes in the app.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, if y'all go and log in, I'll show y'all where that's at.
Thank you.
And just bear in mind, what you see up here is going to be a little bit different from what y'all will see when y'all get logged in. So for your meetings, whenever you go to your meetings, you'll go to the Meetings tab here, and then look for the meeting that you're wanting to go into. For instance, tonight's meeting. We'll go and look for it here, so March 24th. If you click on that meeting, it'll bring open the meeting, and it'll show you the list of all your agenda items and everything here. Now, specifically for taking notes in Agenda Link, you would just click on the item. And if you look right here, you'll see notes. If you just click on that, it'll pop a little window open, and you can type notes here about the items that are in Agenda Link. And they're just for you. Only you will see them. So you can type whatever you want. Just remember, anything we do could be subject to open records. So, and I would have to get it from them. So, but this is where you would take notes in Agenda Link, specifically. And then I was also wanting to show you that if you ever have any questions or want to take a look at any of the videos within Agenda Link, they do have some training. You just go to the little question mark right here, and it'll open up another page with learning. So specifically for looking at, where did it go? Can you just let me find it again? Board portal, so board members right here. If you go to board portal, this right here will give you an overview of everything that you can do as a board member. Not just y'all, but whenever we get any other boards in Agenda Link and using it more often, they'll be able to do this as well.
So will this be available to Planning and Zoning and EDC as well?
Whenever the city secretary's office is ready to progress into that, then yes, it can be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, so we'll have to create they all have logins already. We'll just need to set passwords up for them. So what I can do is have the provider send them links to get their passwords set up. So if we want to be able to do that.
So the note-taking will only be for board, commission, or council?
Yes.
Okay.
So anybody with a login. So, I mean, we could take notes as well as staff on these items, but more specifically, y'all are able to keep it all right here. So, and of course, here's the training that they have. There is a little video that shows you how to do all that, but it is also mapped out, topic by topic, detail by detail here. So.
Right, but this would only be for board members and commissions. It would not be for the public.
Right, this is
Okay.
just for boards and
So
commissions.
my main concern was that the public knows that the agenda link is on our website, that the agenda link has all of the attachments and notes within it that are not personal notes, right? And that they receive exactly the same documentation that we as commissioners, council persons, or boards would receive for any agenda. So they are receiving the same information that we are receiving, and it can be accessed from your phone or computer or a tablet.
Absolutely, and I can show
But it is
everybody.
very interesting that we do have agenda link with notes, so thank you.
You're welcome. And I can show everybody real quick how to get there if you would like.
Yes, and
so-
also we need to make sure that planning and zoning and other boards that have that same training.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank
Can
you.
do that. So for the citizens who want to go and access our agendas and everything through the city website, you would just go to quick links here. You would click on agenda and minutes to learn more at the bottom, and that will take you here. And as you can see, here are the meetings that are up right now. But let's find tonight's meeting. So you have it in the agenda version or you have it in PDF version. Also, for the folks at home, you see the little watch icon there. That is this meeting being live streamed right now. So people could click on that and watch the meeting live stream from here. It's also available live stream on YouTube. But if you just want a PDF version, you can click on that and it will open up a new window. And this right here is 694 pages of agenda. It
Which is
right
why
there.
Agenda Link is so amazing, because this is a scrolling finger issue, trying
Yes.
to get to where you want to
Yeah.
go.
So if they're home and they have a touchscreen, they can use that, or they can use the good old mouse, whichever one works. This is the PDF version. So it's just going to be a page-for-page situation here. However, if you go to the agenda, this one right here, and open it, it opens it up within what's called an iframe. But if the citizens at home want to see something bigger, they simply click on this little button right here, and it'll open it up in a bigger window. So the benefit to using the agenda button on here is that all of these are hyperlinked. You're going to be looking at just the agenda right here. That's all it is. But all of the items and all the information that we have on this packet are going to be hyperlinks here. So we can click on that. It opens up that new page. Here's an attachment right here. Here's the staff report. There's an attachment here. You just click on it, and it will open that up. And of course, to get out of it, you just click on the X, and you're right back to the agenda where you were. So. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I haven't attempted this or seen, but whenever a resident is watching the meeting, can they interface the agenda and the documents only because whenever it's being recorded, whatever's up here can never be seen? So it would be difficult for the resident to switch between the two and keep lifetime continuation. So when can we get to the point, because I know I've been asking for this for years, and I guess to Mr. Reed, when can we get to that point to where we are putting the documents that we're seeing, the presentations that are going forward? Because many times the view that residents see is either at the podium or at the dais, but it's never the actual documents that we as council are reviewing. And that goes for P&Z or EDC and things like that, just as myself as I go in and I look at these meetings. So I was just wondering, when can we make that?
So whenever we do council meetings and we do have presentations up here, myself and my staff should be swapping back and forth between the presenter and what's being broadcast up here.
So it usually goes to the it usually goes to the projector, but because of the lighting, you can't see it. So the
Well-
residents are not getting, other than they have to download 695 pages, and then somehow maybe use two different devices, maybe see it on one and then kind of follow it another. And that's a lot to ask for residents when it should just be transparent to say, oh, there's the presentation. I'm following along in the conversation without having to switch back and forth.
Well, when I mentioned that, so we have an actual output where we can show, it's not the camera that would be looking at this. This is actually what you're seeing that we broadcast out. And we should be swapping between, when there's a presentation up, we should be swapping in between the slides that are being shown as broadcast out and also between the person standing here speaking. So I usually give it 10 to 15 seconds per slide whenever I'm back there operating, and that's what my staff should be doing as well.
Ms. Sanchez-Stevens, are you asking for a dual view, one of the actual PowerPoint and maybe a view of the room or the presenter?
Not necessarily, just whenever there's a presentation for it to be clearly seen on the resident's end. So that way they're just not hearing us talking about the slides, but they can actually see it. Maybe our voices can be in the background because the slides are up in the front. And that's the only,
And that's what I do, and my staff should be doing that as well. If y'all haven't seen that, then I will talk to my staff and we'll make sure we get that going again. It was happening, but we'll make sure it's happening again if it's not. So I'll go back and take a look at some videos. But more to the video part of it, if they are watching the video through Agenda Link, the live video, it does open the agenda up next to the video. So you can watch the video and view the agenda at the same time. So I would open it, but it would cause a feedback loop, and I don't want to do that. All right. Any other questions on it?
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And I hope that was helpful for some of the residents that were asking about what is on the agenda and how to see the attachments. 10B and 10C, are there any questions about the police department monthly report or the fire department monthly report? Okay. We have one comment.
Chief Andres, you had sent out information to us about a traffic study that was done in Heights of Cibolo.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that something that you typically get? I haven't seen those in our monthly reports, but is that something that could start being reported at, maybe not to the detail that you provided us in that email, but just saying this is what we participated in and this is the outcome?
Yes, so on that one, would you want to see those just on the ones that I get from like council requests for different subdivisions that you guys put out?
Yeah, I think the reason I say that is I really liked that email. It answered some of the questions that we get from residents, and it said, here's what the city did, and here's what the result is, what the city will do moving forward as a result of it. And so you mentioned that you would up police, traffic, whatever,
Yep.
patrol, that's the
Yep.
word, on those roads that were identified as having excessive speed, and that some of the other roads did not have excessive speed based on the study. But if we could get like a little snapshot of that, either via email or in your report, that would be fantastic. That was very
Absolutely.
helpful.
So just make sure I got that correctly. Once I get some of the council reports regarding like speed studies in your areas, we'll push that out. That report is a little bit different. It was a result of some new technology that we bought. So it goes a little bit more detail, and I think it does help you and your constituents to say whether it's a traffic issue, time of day, and then how we will respond. So we'll make those corrections.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Moving on to 11A, approval, disapproval of a resolution of the City of Cibolo, Texas, appointing Mayor Kira Latimer to Canyon Regional Water Authority, CRWA Board of Trustees, for a 2-year term of office.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sorry.
I would like to make a motion for a reconsideration of this appointment at this time, to nominate myself to be reappointed to CRWA as Board of Trustee.
Point of privilege, I do not believe that. We're under the resolution section. I believe that's discussion action item
I did
12H.
Point of privilege. I did speak with the city attorney, and I could, at the point of speaking in regards to this resolution, make this reconsideration.
That's accurate.
Is that correct, Mr. Santee? Can we,
Yes,
are we able to overlap 12H with
Yeah, it's the same,
11A?
it's the same subject matter. So yes, that can be moved up and dealt with now, because if there's a motion to reconsider and the nominee changes, then the resolution can be dealt with the different nominee in it.
This is
So, I
interesting.
mean, basically, last time y'all came up with a nomination, so the resolution was drafted for that nominee. If that resolution now failed, you still need a nominee. So if you reconsider the nominations and it passes, then we'll reconsider the resolution with the new nominee, is how I would deal with it.
So then point of privilege before we, Mayor, before we do any nominations, because last time we had actual, some weighed in with a little bit of discussion, maybe not. I feel that it's important to have discussion because it just seems like these, yes, it's interesting the way that it's changing.
Point of privilege, please, Ms. Sanchez-Stevens.
Excuse me, Ms. Sanchez-Stevens
Ms. Roberts,
was
if we can
speak-
keep it professional and respectful, that would be greatly appreciated.
So you're saying point of privilege, I'd like a point of privilege.
I'm
because
asking the
every
mayor
time-
for a point of
She has-
privilege.
Every time there's
Danetta, you
something
cannot
said,
interrupt her.
you are Ms. Councilman Brown, jump on top of everything, so nobody else has an opportunity to speak.
Much respect to those that have come forward to speak on the topic, but we made a decision. And with me being a newer councilwoman, I don't understand how people just change their mind and this is a new topic. So I do find that interesting. We made a decision to make the mayor the nominee and we supported that. Now, all of a sudden, there is a change and that concerns me.
Well, it's, you know what, somebody has to serve on that, in that position. And I would hope that we have somebody that serves in that position that is able to work with their council and provide information and education and be a good steward of that role. But sometimes people have disagreements or despairing ideas or concepts. We're not really striving for unity. We're really striving for the betterment of our citizens, that we serve them in a way that is productive and healthy for our community, that we do it in a unified way. And so I am happy for us to have the discussion that you've asked for, Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens. But again, we're not striving for unity. We're striving for a better community for the folks that reside here in Cibolo and for us to have a more comprehensive and productive council. So I would say we'll start with Councilman McLaughlin, if he would like to speak on the item.
Sure. Councilwoman Roberts has been on CRWA. She's done a lot of work. She's on committees. She's put in a lot of effort to get very smart. Water is a very valuable resource in the state of Texas. She gives us detailed reports after she meets up at CRWA. And as far as the agenda item, so Ms. Roberts didn't even get a chance to speak to the item before nomination was made. I've never seen a council person have an agenda item listed on an agenda and not even be able to speak to it before someone makes a motion or a nomination. So I have seconded Ms. Roberts' nomination to be reappointed to CRWA Board of Trustees.
I think that when we went through this last time, it did go really fast. There was a lot of information that I didn't have, or information I don't think was presented with it. So I was happy to hear it come back again to give her an opportunity to explain that she wanted to stay on the board and how that worked. And I will say, as a new council member, when it was mentioned that there were 2 different seats on there, it wasn't mentioned that one is typically filled by council and one isn't. It's filled by city staff or somebody else. And so that was information that wasn't explained. But I will say I've had numerous amounts of people reach out in support for Councilwoman Roberts to stay on and with the partnerships and things that she's built. Now, I do think there's room to put things in place so that if she is attending these meetings for the next 2 years, to bring specific information back to council and back to the mayor so that that can help when we're informing some of those regional partnerships. I definitely think that's within an ask that we can say, hey, this is something that we need to start collecting from this, and then also from any council member that's sitting on any board to make sure that all of council is kept up to date on what those meetings, what's going on there when we can't attend all of that.
Councilwoman Cunningham?
I want to preface this by saying that this is a really unique problem to have. And I'm smiling because I've been on council for a while and I've been participating in city stuff for a long time, and it's very rare that we have this many competent, capable people who we could put anyone on council on this board and the city would do well. I've worked with great people, but not everyone is dedicated or has been as dedicated as the people on this current council. So I do think that that's a really unique situation, a good thing, good problem to have. I did speak with Mayor Latimer. I was not at the last meeting. And so I spoke with her, I don't know, a couple days ago about this. And what it boils down to for me is we have someone who's already on the board, who has built these relationships, who is on these committees, who is chairing these committees, who's gained a positive rapport with all the members of CRWA that I've spoken to. And granted, I haven't spoken to all, I think there's 22 members. I haven't spoken to all 22. But everyone that I have spoken to, and not just people that I know, people who I've never really met, I've heard their name before, but I've never really met, have reached out and said great things about Danetta. That's not to say they were saying that Ms. Latimer is terrible. Nobody said that. Not to me. So, no, they did not say that to me. Mm-hmm. So what went into my consideration is what would be the benefit of changing? If we change to a new person, both of them are competent, both of them are able to make the meetings, both of them are willing to learn and to work with other people, like equal footing there. What we would lose is the seniority on CRWA, even though Ms. Roberts hasn't been there very long. She has been there a while, long enough to get a chair position for a subcommittee. We would lose that. And it would cause another turnover. We had her reinstated a year ago, so that would be another change for Cibolo. It would be more feeding into drama. That's unavoidable. But I looked at the cost benefit of the situation, and I do not see a reason to replace Danetta at this time. I don't see a big enough reason to replace. Now, if she was going in there or skipping every meeting, or if there was something serious going on, then absolutely we should replace. If she did not want to attend anymore, then we should replace. But looking at the information we do have about the services that are provided, I don't see a reason to change it. I have heard concerns from other council members that they would like a more standardized reporting of those meetings. I think that's doable. I think that's a conversation that we as council can have. I actually wrote it down because I think we should have reports from subcommittee meetings also. But that's something that we can work on. If that is a concern, then we need to be going to each other and talking about those things and working it out. And if it doesn't work out, we can always replace me here. You know, there's other things to do that we can do. So that was what went into it. Again, I think it's a fantastic problem to have, that we have all these competent, capable people on council, that we have a good bunch to choose from.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens?
Yes. First of all, I just want to kind of go back and correct the record a little bit in that the last time that the item was brought up, yes, Ms. Brown, she went to make a motion, as is typical, because Mr. McLaughlin, you have also made motions very abruptly after an agenda item has been read, so that the
Point
fact
of
that this
personal
is now-
privilege.
Sir, it is my time. I have
Point
not
of
yielded
personal
my time.
privilege.
Sir, I have
Point of
not yielded my
personal
time.
privilege.
You were given time. Thank
Under
you.
personal privilege, since you mentioned
So,
my name.
sir, it is my time to speak. Thank you.
She has the microphone, then you can rebut, please.
We'll keep it professional. Thank you. So just wanting to cover that is that it hasn't been an unusual circumstance in which someone has made a nomination or a motion. And I would have to say, there was a delay with the second. Sat here, there was a little bit of silence. So, Mr. McLaughlin, no one really was ready to discuss or to bring it up. Both Ms. Brown, she brought up her points as to why Ms. Latimer would be best in this particular role when it pertained to the water. Then Ms. Roberts went ahead by interjecting and interrupting, but then she also went ahead and gave background to how this even came about. So there was discussion. I just wanted to correct the record on that. So this isn't something that we just went in, made a motion. Two people did, and there was on record, there was already an approval of that motion with that direction. So this seems very undermining, very inconsistent. And so, and to say that in other instances with other nominations, other motions, and other positions, there usually wants to be a taking of turns, but in this particular instance, it's going to be something with permanency. So I'm confused to whether we can reappoint someone else next year. Is it going to be based on personal politics, personal preference? Because this is kind of the way that it feels, that maybe there's certain, I don't know, I have had people, reach out that based on some social media stuff that's been going on by a certain few number of people, there have been other residents who've reached out to me to say, no, Ms. Latimer is the most qualified. And Ms. Latimer has already proven to bring back information. She has invited each council member to the table to agenda review. She's very inclusive. And when it has come to the entire last year, and I'm just saying, Ms. Roberts, there was probably maybe once or twice that we received a report regarding CWRA, and we have not been given, you go to the monthly meetings, but there's not usual updates, even when some changes came up with our leases. I mean, things like this. We have not heard an impact to the water. Well, anyhow, the thing is like there's no information. So being that there is no information, it only made sense. Ms. Latimer has experience with knowledge with water resources. She's already proven and talked about low water crossings, the floodplain. So she's interested in the water, and obviously she has the intelligence, the research, the knowledge to jump right in. Again, if everyone here is qualified, then it only makes sense to have the mayor at the table, which, by the way, with her position as mayor and the information that she gained, she could actually go to other regional partners to the table just as well, because she is the mayor. So it just made sense. So again, this is just very disappointing, very concerning, very undermining, and very unprofessional, and that's just my personal perspective. Thank you.
Mr. McLaughlin.
My statement was I have never seen a council member have an agenda item, which Councilwoman Roberts did have this agenda item at the last meeting, to where a nomination or a motion is attempted to be made before that individual that brought the agenda item to council an opportunity to speak. Yes, I have quickly made motions. When Chief comes here with grants and is trying to get us free money, Chief, go get that money. Some things, I don't need to hear the whole thing. And that's nothing against Chief. I love you, Chief. You're a good public speaker, but if he's going to get free money, I don't need to hear him talk to me about it for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts, Councilwoman Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to just express my continued interest in serving the City of Cibolo's representative on the Board of Trustees for Canyon Regional Water Authority, also known as CRWA. CRWA serves as a regional wholesale water provider, supplying water to member entities, including the City of Cibolo. Cibolo currently receives 2,800 acre-feet of water annually through CRWA. CRWA purchases its water from Guadalupe Valley River Authority, also known as GVRA. CRWA works closely with a TCEQ to ensure the proper quality water is delivered to our communities and that it meets all the standards. The CRWA Board of Trustees serves as a voting body for the organization. There are 22 board members currently appointed. The Board of Trustees also oversees several important committees, like how City Council subcommittees operate. These include Board of Managers, composed of employees from entities receiving water, focusing on operational coordination. Construction Committee reviews contracts, infrastructure, wells, treatment plants, maintenance to ensure timely and efficient operations. The Budget Committee, which I actively serve on. This committee recently did a deep dive into CRWA's financials and identified a significant overage collected from member entities. We are currently working on allowing the overage charged to the entities towards maintenance of repairs that need to be taken care of for some of the wells currently, and not having to come back to the entities and ask for additional funds to make these repairs. And we are also currently working on the FY27 budget. I am the chair of the Legislative Affairs Committee. We have already started reaching out to different senators as well as House representatives within the state of Texas to set up meetings so we can continue moving forward with some of the legislation that is going to be put in place regarding the water authorities and long-term water planning across the state of Texas. As a city council member, I view the work is especially important because the policies being discussed today will directly affect communities like Cibolo in the future. I want to be clear that CRWA is not responsible for locating additional water supplies for the city. That is, the responsibility remains with the city, and I am 100% on board with working with Mayor Latimer to help find some of these different sources that we may need to find. CRWA's role is to manage and deliver the existing water supply allocations, maintain wells and treatment infrastructures, and ensure reliability and compliant water delivery. When I was first appointed to Board of Trustees last year, I will admit that I did not fully understand the scope of the organization. However, over the past year, I have made it a priority to learn as much as possible about regional water supply systems, water rights and leasing agreements, treatment plants, operation, well infrastructure and maintenance, and the regulatory processes that govern water delivery in Texas. Aside from the committees I am part of, I do attend Board of Manager meetings and the Construction Committee meetings because I feel it's important, just as it is with our city. Understanding work being done at the committee level brings a stronger understanding for the city. Attending all meetings and committee meetings ensures I have the most educated understanding of what the board is asked to vote on. Serving on CRWA board has become something I am very passionate about. I believe the knowledge gained over the last year, the relationships I have built with the other entities and work already underway through committees involvement will allow me to continue helping strengthen CRWA and reflect the standards of the city of Cibolo. For all of these reasons, I do respectfully appreciate your support to be reappointed to CRWA as Board of Trustee member.
Guadalupe Blanco River Authority.
Sorry, you are correct. I misspoke on that one.
Ms. Brown.
I just have a few questions. The word is you've done a lot of work. I have not seen any of that. I have never been briefed. I have never been educated on anything as a new council member. And I do understand that you've been there for a year and you've brought back 2 reports in that whole year. The other issue is yes, I'm glad you got over a learning curve. I have to get over one as well, but I don't believe that learning curve exists with the mayor. I think her position and her ability to be present, which I have witnessed in a lot of council events, very few of us are present, which needs to go along with your last agenda item with the expectations of council. Most of us do work 40 hours. I work too, but I'm here, but I'm present. I ran to be present. I ran to hear what the people that I serve need, and I work on those things as well. And my employer understands my job here as well. So there's no excuse. Benefits of changing, and I believe Councilwoman Cunningham, you said everybody deserves a chance, right? This case is no different. There's nothing wrong with somebody else sitting at the table. But to agree with Councilwoman Sanchez, this is very undermining. My question to the council is, everything we vote for, is it going to be undermined in this manner, and the same team that votes like this, is this what I am to expect as a councilwoman in the city of Cibolo? That question's to the team that votes together.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ms. What I would like to say is that I would like to assure our citizens that we are going to work to overcome any differences. Some people are more easy to work with and some are not. We all have that in all aspects of our lives. And so I think that for us to move on would be in the best interest of our citizens.
Mayor, may I make a request? Ms. Roberts, if you can please bring monthly reports pertaining to the meeting, recaps and summaries so that we are up to date.
I will
That'd be
make
greatly
sure that they are
appreciated.
agenda items that I can present to y'all each
Okay.
month.
Thank
I will
you.
make sure that happens. Thank you.
Thank you. 11B, approval, disapproval of the resolution of the City of Cibolo, Texas, appointing Chris Hubbard to Canyon Regional Water Authority, CRWA, Board of Managers for a one-year term of office. Mr. Reed? We can just make the motion.
I would like to make a motion to reappoint Chris Hubbard.
I would
as
like to
Board of
ask a question.
So if I could, though, you do need to still approve the resolution with the new nominee. The vote that you took was to reconsider and nominate Roberts,
Yes.
which is what you had done at the last meeting. So you still need to pass 11A, but with the amendment of the person who's nominated, and then you can take action on 11B.
I make a motion to approve a resolution of the City of Cibolo, Texas, appointing Councilwoman Danetta Roberts to Canyon Regional Water Authority Board of Trustees for a 2-year term of office.
I second that.
Okay. Now, Ms. Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens, you had a question?
Yes, I did have a question
About
because
11B.
I want to make clear that we are appointing the person that we are intending here. Because, Mr. Reed, I think it's only appropriate to ask you, or maybe Public Works, to see if this nominee is one that y'all would feel is a good preferred candidate for this particular board, or if there's someone else, because I know that we have new employees. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is, if there is someone else that y'all might want to consider, but I wanted to defer to city staff to see if who we're appointing is city staff's preference.
Ms. Sanchez-Stevens, we serve the council as a body, and we work with each and every one of you, so we do not have a preferred elected official. So when you take action and you appoint somebody to a commission or board or outside agency, we are committed to working with that individual.
And I think and please correct me, Ms. Sanchez, if I'm incorrect. For this particular board, the Board of Managers is typically a city staff. When we appointed Mr. Hubbard, it was to fill a vacancy for a staff member who left, and we didn't really have other staff members to fill in. I think he was kind of voluntold that this is what was going to happen.
Yep.
Now that we have our new Public Works Director and the 2 assistant Public Works Directors, is there someone more appropriate, is what I think.
That's
Ms.
exactly what I was going for,
And
because I
I
know we were transitioning a year ago within Public Works, and now that we have
Yes.
stabilized with our staffing, I was wanting to, yeah.
And
I would like to
apologize.
And we
acknowledge
have someone
Mr.
for water.
I would like to
absolutely.
acknowledge Mr. Reed. Thank you.
First, I want to apologize for my misunderstanding. So you were asking about staff member. I'd let Mr. Gomez speak because a year ago, we did not have our assistant public work director positions filled. Now we do. If council wants to hear from Mr. Gomez about our available staff now, and if you want to keep Mr. Hubbard on there or consider somebody else, he can speak to that.
Yes, so a year ago, we had Jacob Parsons was serving as the board of managers. He left that position, and at the time we didn't have anybody to fill that role, which is why we had nominated Chris Hubbard to be on there. Now that we have a new assistant director, which is Saif Alahat, I would recommend that he be serving in the same capacity that Jacob Parson was serving in when he left.
Okay, so that would be Mr. Saif Al-Qadi?
Al-Haddad.
Haddad? Okay.
May I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Does the Assistant Public Works Director have the same types of certifications that Mr. Hubbard has? As far as water, TCEQ, quality and whatnot is concerned?
No, Saif is a professional engineer, licensed engineer, and he does have water experience. He doesn't have a Class A water license like Chris Hubbard, but he does have experience.
So on the Board of Managers, though, we are the whole point of it is for construction, to work along with the construction meetings, to make sure the wells are done, to make sure that the plants are being, the treatment of the plants and all that is coming through. That's something that Mr. Hubbard has knowledge of, as far as I'm aware. And I did reach out to Mr. Hubbard to see if he was interested in still serving as that particular Board of Managers appointee. But again, it is, as you wish, sir.
So I will add that Saif oversees our CIP program as well. He oversees all of our water infrastructure. Chris Hubbard focuses more on our daily operations, so he's more operational level. I think this position requires someone that's going to be more geared towards the construction side of things and not operations.
I'd like to rescind my motion to appoint Chris Hubbard as the Board of Managers appointee to CRWA.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Saeed Al-Habdad to Canyon Region Water Authority Board of Managers for a one-year term of office.
Sorry, I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. But, okay. Okay. 11C, approval of a resolution by the City of Cibolo regarding the interim rate adjustment application of CenterPoint Energy for the 12-month period ending December 31st, 2025. Ms. Miranda.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm going to keep this brief. There is a lot of background information in your packet. On or about February 17th, 2026, CenterPoint filed for an increase in gas utility rates under the Gas Reliability Infrastructure Program, which is known as GRIP, the GRIP statute. CenterPoint's application will result in an increase in monthly customer charges of about 8.7% for residential and 7.9% for small commercial customers. And this is to recover a return on investments that they make in the infrastructure. Although the city's ability to review and make any changes in their request is limited, approval of this resolution provides an opportunity to suspend the increase for 45 days so that the city, through the alliance, the ACM, can evaluate whether the data and calculations in CenterPoint's rate application are correctly done.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a motion
Are there any questions?
to approve the resolution?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 11C, approval of the resolution adjusting application of CenterPoint Energy for a 12-month period ending
Second.
December 31st.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll come up in a minute. There you go. 11D, application disapproval of a resolution of the City of Cibolo, Texas, accepting the dedication of 4 tracts of real property consisting in total of approximately 12.42 acres and located at the block, in the Block 5 of the Foxbrook subdivision in the City of Cibolo. Nobody's name. Who put this on the agenda? Mr. Reed? Yeah, that's the only thing I saw.
Mayor and council, item 11D is the resolution concerning parkland in the Foxbrook subdivision. In the cover sheet, what I provided to you is an explanation of the history of the subdivision and the history of the PIA related to the dedication of the parkland, and separate but related, of course, is the maintenance and operation. And this PIA really makes a little complicated the distinction between the dedication and the maintenance and operation. So what you're being asked to do tonight is approve a resolution that merely dedicates this acreage to the city, about 12.5 acres. But the maintenance and operation will remain with the HOA until the triggers that are explained in the staff report. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
I think it's pretty clear. Anybody have any questions? All right. I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 11D as written.
I second that.
– 12A, discussion presentation on the Cibolo Youth Advisory Council attendance at the YAC Summit. Mr. Huggins, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So tonight, as you'll see beside me, I have Miss Adeline Lamkin. She is one of our
Hey,
Cibolo
welcome.
Youth Advisory Council members, and she attended the Youth Advisory Council Summit with 9 other members of our Youth Advisory Council back at the end of end of January, beginning of February. We have discussed kind of what we did at the summit a couple of times, but we were asked to bring back a presentation and get some feedback from our members. So that's what we're doing tonight. Just a quick recap of what we did. 10 members went. This was at the Mount Lebanon camp in Cedar Hill, Texas. We had 3 of our council members, Ms. Cunningham, Ms. Summer Brown, and Ms. Norma Sanchez Stevens attend as well. We had 3 adult chaperones attend in addition. We carpooled with some parents and adult chaperones to get up there, and we enjoyed some meals together and some social time, and we really had a good time, didn't we?
Yes.
We did. All right. So what I did is I sent out some questions to our attendees and said, give me some feedback. What are between 1 and 3 activities that you really enjoyed? What did you find to be the most entertaining part of this summit? What did you find that you heard from other youth advisory councils throughout the state that you wanted to bring back and maybe implement with our city? So I sent some questions out. I got some feedback from from our youth council members. But I want to ask Ms. Adeline to give her feedback real quick, since she's here with us tonight, and you can tell the council in person what you enjoyed about it. Fair enough? Mm-hmm. All right. The mic is yours, ma'am.
Yeah. What I enjoyed the most was the sessions and how they were talking about our future, and how they made us go to tables and listen to how people chose their careers. It's really fun. And
anything you want to bring back from other ones?
Anything I want to bring back?
Anything that you saw the other youth councils do that you thought would be cool if you brought back to Cibolo?
Not really.
Not really.
No. No.
All right, well, thank you for your honest feedback. All right. All right.
Yeah.
You
I'm
good?
done. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. So we asked the same questions, all of them, and so what we did, we got some feedback. What was your favorite activity? This was from Jameson Artis, and he said, he really enjoyed learning more about the mental health aspects of stuff and interpersonal relationships. And so that's a photo of all of us together. I think that was right after lunch, if I'm not mistaken. It was really, really cold. He may not look like it right there, but it was really, really cold right there. About 22 degrees outside at that point in time, so that's why everybody's jacketed up. Some other feedback we got. What was your favorite activity? Parker Gilman said my favorite activity was lunch. He enjoyed the nature park, the nature walk, and he enjoyed lunch. It was really good. And I have a note that Miss Sanchez Stevens can affirm the cookies were fantastic. Yes, so they got to sit down with other groups with that lunch and really talk about the different aspects of youth advisory councils throughout the state. It was a really good time. Some of the other things that we did at the ACT Summit was collect canned goods and some other goods for the food bank up there. And so the city of Cibolo actually collected 150 different items for the local food bank, and we contributed to that up there. So I don't know the official number, but I think we were around probably third or fourth out of all the different cities up there with the amount of donations that we made. Again, some of the folks talked about the mental health stuff, which is really with the focus of the ACT Summit this year, was focusing on mental health. And it's for them to get to hear feedback from different speakers and different groups about how important mental health is, and bringing that back and talking to other youth members about, really considering their mental health and focusing on that. It was a big deal. So some of Jameson made another comment about talking to the groups that had been together longer and seeing some of the cohesion they had as a group and what they were able to do with the more tenure they had and the more time they put into this and really built up their program was really inspiring to him, and was one of the reasons they wanted to come back and talk about, what can we do to get the youth of Cibolo more involved in our group, and how can we contribute as a youth advisory council back to the community. So they really did get some great ideas from different youth advisory councils across the state, and overall they had a good time. That was the last night we were there. That was a picture at the little social event they had at their public library up there, and it was just great to see our folks interacting with other youth, and just the camaraderie that was amongst all of them across the state, and our group involved as well. Skip. So this is at the very end of the summit. We got our picture with our group, with everybody else up there, and they really had a great time. What we do want to talk a little bit about tonight is that we do have a cultural heritage event that the Youth Advisory Council is putting together. It's going to be held May 2nd. We have some more details that we have to finish up, knock out a couple of things real quick before we put it out to the public. But it's probably going to be either at the Grange Hall or our Cibolo Community Center. Just a couple-hour event with different members of the community talking about their nationalities, their culture. Maybe we'll have some food at those events from different cultures, some goods and wares that maybe some vendors are selling. But look for that announcement to be coming out shortly. And we look forward to having council attend that event with us and see what our Youth Advisory Council is doing for the city and for the youth in our community. That's all we got. Adeline, you got anything else?
No.
All right. Any questions, comments?
I would just like you to restate when the Youth Advisory Council is going to be held again. Did you say it was May?
The Cultural Heritage event is
For
May
here.
2nd. Yes, ma'am.
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
And your May 2nd is called the Youth?
The Cultural Heritage event.
Okay. Thank you.
I do have a question. How many youth councils were there that y'all kind of worked with?
There was probably between 30 and 50.
Wow.
It was a pretty good group of folks.
In a range of like the sizes of the youth council? Because I know ours like grew this year.
Yeah, we
Which
had
is
about 20.
awesome.
There were some smaller ones, but there were some that were quite a bit bigger than ours as well. Some of them have been, like I said, have been more established, have been around a little bit longer, so they kind of got in their groove and they know how to get this stuff going, which is we're still trying to find our groove, if you will.
There's one thing that stood out to me is there's no like standard composition for a youth council. There's no standard, this is what the youth council does. Every city was a little bit different. Some of them were city youth councils, but they were actually run by an outside agency. There were some that were under council. There were some that were under parks. There were some that were under, it was a very interesting mix based on the needs of the city and what the city was able to do. But I think getting those different perspectives was good for the kids. They were very chatty on the way home.
Absolutely.
About all the things that they had learned.
Yeah. It was a good time. We look forward to next year. So just remember that come budget time. We'd like to be able to send our group back up there. So we appreciate the opportunity to take this group up there this year, though. We really had a good time.
Thank you. And thank you for coming up and sharing about the Youth Council with us.
Thank you.
12B, discussion action on the Historic Committee project for FY 25-26. Ms. Tudyk and Ms. Beach. Hi, good evening and welcome.
All to consider. The first one I'm going to talk about is we'd like to put flags down Main Street in Old Town from the bowling alley to FM 78 on the 4th of July for the semi-quincentennial, the America 250. This is the size and style flags. It's got a 30-inch stick, so when we put it in the ground, it won't touch the ground. We've proposed that we do them every 15 feet on both sides of the street. And the budget's there. Do you all have it in front of you? The proposal? Oops.
So your proposal is for 100 flags for 110, or a total of 700 flags for $770 for 700 flags, spaced 15 feet apart going down Main Street on both sides of Main Street, from the bowling club to the...
To FM 78. To FM 78.
Oh, okay, to
Yep.
FM 78.
And then in the future, I know there was some discussion about taking the flags all the way down Cibolo Valley Drive as well. So in the future, we thought if we could maybe get together with other committees in the city. Our biggest obstacle is that the flags won't be illuminated. So we're going to have to put them out in the morning and take them down in the evening. So that's a decent amount of manpower on a holiday when school's out of session. So to get the volunteers for that, we don't want to commit to 4 miles of putting flags out. We'd like to just start with Old Town first. But these flags are meant to be outside. So any that we buy, we can use year after year.
Is there, I guess I'm not following, why is it, I guess, a factor that they're not illuminated? Is there something that says that they should be?
Yeah.
What says that they should be?
The flag
The what?
code. Mm-hmm. That American flag has to be illuminated in the dark.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just thinking about how, because I really enjoy seeing how Schertz Parkway is lined usually every July 4th. And I'm guessing they have their street lights there. And so not sure if maybe that's why it's different, but it's all the way from I-35 all the way to FM 78, and they have their flags on both sides of the road.
Yeah. Do they leave them out overnight?
They, for a couple days, actually, not just on July 4th, but I want to say maybe a stretch over almost the week, or maybe from, I can't, don't quote me, maybe it seems like it's from July 1st forward. I can't remember how many days, but I just know it's very patriotic feeling coming in from
Yeah, I
I-35
mean, I would
sometimes.
love to have them out longer. It would make it
Okay.
easier on us as well.
Yes.
But the research that we did, we felt as a committee that they needed to be illuminated or taken down before dark. I don't know what.
Yeah, the flag, I just Googled, the flag code for US Code 6, the American flag should be illuminated if flown at night to avoid being in darkness. While typically displayed from sunrise to sunset, it may be flown 24 hours a day if it is properly illuminated during darkness, meaning a light source makes it recognizable.
Interesting.
Have you looked into those little solar lights or like the yard lights?
Well,
I have not.
Because I've seen like some campaign signs have the little solar lights in front of them. So
And
that
it
at night
just
they're
would
illuminated.
attach to the top of the flag?
Possibly. Sometimes they'll have the ones that go at the top and then some that just stick in the yard next to it and light it up. That might be an option too.
Okay, I could look into it. Okay.
I love the idea. I think it's very cute.
And if you didn't want to spend the 770, we could do less flags, or if you wanted the flags every 10 feet, we could do more flags. That was just what we were
And this
requesting.
might be a question for Mr. Reed or Julio or someone who understands the light poles downtown. Do those light poles have the option of having a flag thing put on them? The fancy looking ones?
Mr.
So
Reed.
any light pole is owned by
Fun.
GVEC,
Not a
and for an attachment to a GVEC structure, we have to get their permission. And I think unless there's a transformer attached to a pole, they generally are accepting of an attachment like a banner.
That may be an option too. It would be much fewer flags, but they would have that light right there, so then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Oh,
Mr. Reed?
And if you're talking about attachments to the old town-looking light poles, that may be something that we have the authority to do without GVEC. I'm looking over at Mr. Gomez.
Yes, the decorative lights, we do manage those. We could purchase a bracket for those to put flags on those, but currently right now, they're not equipped to do that.
Okay.
So we would
Does
have to get brackets to put on
That may
those.
also make the flags last a little bit longer. I think if they're in the ground, my kids would mess with them.
Do you need to take that back to your committee and ask them if they would be willing to, or want the ones on the pole?
So you want us to look into just getting a larger flag for the poles that are on
There-
Main Street?
How many poles are there of those decorative ones? There's like at least 10.
I don't know that count off the top of my head. I'd have to get that.
Yeah.
but-
I don't think they also would really stand out. I feel like something that's unique and different and will pop for that day would be those flags in the ground for sure, because that's something we've never done before. But if we just change them on the
Oh.
light poles itself, then,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean the ones like the flags that are already there, the little banners.
Right, not
I'm talking
banners.
about adding one of those, I don't know, the little bracket
Little
where they,
flagpole holder.
where they still angle out over the road.
oh, still have them in, but then
Yes.
angle them out? Ooh, okay.
Like it
But
would
it
be
would
a
just be-
flagpole holder attachment.
Like you put on your house.
Yeah.
Like,
So it would just be about 10 flags?
Yeah, I don't know how many light poles there are, but that, you could do larger flags, and then
Mhm.
you wouldn't have to worry about taking them down or putting them back up. It may be
Okay.
less expensive, and we could get something else for them, or do
Okay.
some small flags as well. I don't know.
Is the city doing any decorating it already for the holiday, or that's coming up later?
I believe Mr. McLaughlin has something on the
Okay.
agenda later for the July,
Okay.
but it could work, whatever he's proposing could work in conjunction with this as well.
Okay, so we'll look into tiny lights, and we'll look into larger flags, and we can send that proposal.
And we would need to find out from Mr. Reed's staff what, if you're going to do that, what attachment would need to go on that light pole to hold the flag, if it's possible.
And you can look up mini stake lights. It's like they're actually made for flags that go in the ground, and it's a little stake that has the light at the bottom of it.
Okay.
So that's something you can look, and maybe we're not able to do as many with the budget because we need to get those, but at least you would have it done properly following what the code is. And I mean, we have so many military members and veterans in this community, so I know that's something that's very vital to them.
It's important, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
I still like the original proposal idea, honestly. I think it's just really, it really is sweet. It really lines the streets. It makes it stand out quite a bit. So I like this proposal. Not to want to make you change everything about y'all worked so hard into it. Y'all thought it out. No way do I want for it to be changed. I think it's great what you have, but if you want to look into the other as an alternate option that y'all want to consider, but just let us know what you would like to do, and
Okay.
I'd like to honor you in that.
We have a little time, so we'll
Absolutely.
try to get it figured out. Okay. The next one is the flower pots in Old Town. We, can y'all see that? We're proposing to do the 8 flower pots in front of the mech right behind us here as a group. We would like to paint them with native Texas plants and flowers. We're starting with the ones in back here, just as a group, just to make sure that we're getting the right paint. We don't want it to fall apart and look bad. So we've researched that the tintable concrete masonry waterproof latex paint will hopefully be our best bet. And then also we plan to seal it. We've had some paint donated to us already. And then we'd like to get some supplies, just drop cloths and blue tape and rollers and paint and things like that. We're planning to contact some youth in Cibolo, the Lions Club teenage volunteers called the Leos are interested in helping us with this project. And we'll see how many would volunteer with that. And then also the Steele High School Art Club. I will contact them to see if they're interested in helping with this project. It's just 8 pots, so it's not a ton. And the plan is that the council will go out like a week and a half before and prime them and paint them with just a light blue background color. And then when we have the youth there on a Saturday morning, we'll just get the flowers painted. And then we'll seal it after they're done. Any questions about that one? Okay. And if that all goes well, then we'd like to do more flower pots.
I'm sure it will.
Okay, so our last one is the backside of the mural that has the 60th anniversary of Cibolo. The backside currently has the Old Spanish Trail tapestry on it or banner on it. And the backside was intended for the historic committee to paint on. So we would like to do that. And can you see the picture that we're proposing? So in each of the letters, the CIBOLO, we would like to invite local Cibolo citizens through social media to paint inside each letter. So it can be anything historic, the train, a buffalo, Native Americans, German heritage, things like that. The historic team, we've already got a date set, if you guys approve us, are going to go and paint the background. We have 2 days set aside that we can do that. And then just have the citizens paint the letters. So it'll already look decent by the time people come and paint their ideas. For this one, we won't really need as much money. We'll use the supplies that we have already gotten from the flower pot project and just a little bit of paint. Go ahead. Any questions about that one?
No, I think this is fabulous. I just want to say thank you for bringing these projects to council and taking the thought that you've put into it. It's amazing. So thank you very much for that. I did want to, as far as the flower pots, have y'all spoken with the Assistant Public Works Director, Ms. Hernandez? Because I know they painted some of the other pots. And so she may have some ideas on the type of paint that you can also use.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
I know one of our committee members was going to reach out to Ms. Hernandez to see about getting them power washed before we paint them, just so they're not dirty, because if they're dirty, the paint's not going to stick well.
So you need a motion on the Historic Committee mural image and its budget amount, and a motion on the flower pots and its budget amount? Is that what we're needing to do this evening?
Mayor, if I may, before
Yes,
we make a
please.
motion, thank you for the work you all do. I know you've been working hard putting these projects together, and this is just a question, not, I don't want it to sound like a forced suggestion, kind of ties into what I'm going to be discussing later today. Since we have this mural, do you think that there's any opportunity to put some 250th anniversary messaging on the back?
Sure.
Since the front side of our mural is celebrating our 60th year, I think it'd be a neat idea to try to incorporate the 250th anniversary on the back side,
Yeah.
if it makes sense.
Yeah, it's the historic side, so yeah,
Thank you.
we can do that.
Is it motion time?
I think so. I was just going to ask, would it, and this might be a Mr. Reed question, or Anna, if she's here, would it be better to approve a budget up to for them, or approve specifically what they're asking for? Because I'd like to give them some wiggle room, because sometimes prices go up and.
I feel like there's some ambiguity in their needs, and it might be better to give them an up to amount, not to exceed, provide them the flexibility. Of course, anything they buy would be through the city, so therefore we'd have the receipts, and we'll know exactly what that amount is, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And also, if we're going to be waiting on the flags, so you would want to give the approval for the amount of the art and paints, and then the flags could be separate. That way, it's kept separate.
Sounds good.
Then I'd like to make a motion to approve a budget of $350 for the mural and the flower pots.
I can second that.
I have a motion and a second.
I'm sorry. I mean, I can't be loud.
And just one more question on the flags. I'm sorry if I missed it. What is the shipping time on those?
Next day.
Next day? Okay,
Yeah,
so
and I checked, because when I ordered this, it was like in December. And I checked today and the price is the same, and it's
Perfect.
next day shipping, so it must be in
Okay,
church.
great. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room on that. Okay, perfect.
Although I would imagine people are going to start ordering flags, the closer we get, so The sooner would be the better, but we'll look into the things you suggested.
When is your next meeting?
April, second Thursday of April, so the first.
Okay.
9th or so? Maybe the 9th? Something like that?
Ms. Val, can you make sure that we have this agenda item for the flags put back on to the after their meeting?
Yes, I'll add it to the next council meeting after the historic meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Am I good?
Yes.
Okay.
I think yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Did we? Thank you, ladies, so much. And 12C, discussion action, approval of the Guadalupe Master Gardeners to host a special event, plant sale, and market at the community garden in accordance with the Muni Code, Chapter 54, Section 54-106. Ms. Hernandez and Guadalupe Master Gardeners.
Mayor,
Good evening.
council members, good evening. I'm excited to be here. My name is Margarita Hernandez, Assistant Public Works Director overseeing the Parks and Operation. Next to me, I have Ms. Dominique Harmon, and she is with the Guadalupe Master Gardeners. She's a member there. And today we are here to ask or seek approval for a plant sale along with the market to be hosted at the Ron P. Community Garden on April the 18th. And first, I would like to say how excited we are to be partners with the Guadalupe Master Gardeners. They've done a tremendous job at the community garden. I was not here in the community when we had that huge rain event and flood in July that severely impacted our community garden. And with the help of the Guadalupe Master Gardeners, that community garden has really turned around. They harvest the first vegetables and distribute it to the community in December of 2025. And it has been a very active space since then. And we're really excited. So today we're here because the Guadalupe Master Gardeners would like to host a plant sale along with the market as part of a fundraise event so they can generate some income to continue to spend that money in the community garden, continue to plant vegetables and activate it for the community. They're seeking a special permit for the plant sale. Along with that, they would like to request that they collect the fee from each vendor that will be participating in the market of $25 a vendor fee. So a total of $250 that they would collect and will be going back to the Guadalupe Master Gardeners. And so that event will also be part of another big event that our Parks and Recreation is partnering with the Outbound business to host a disc golf event at the Slaughter Park. So we're hoping that we're going to do a lot of activation in that space to bring in the community and be part of that day. And of course, we're still trying to enjoy a little bit of mild days of the weather in April. So we're hoping that the community will turn out and support our Master Gardeners. Do you want to say anything, Dominique?
Thank you so much for hearing us tonight. It's an honor to be a part of the community and serve in the capacity that we do through the garden. It is now open to the community. We have volunteers coming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 11 each day, and the second Saturday of the month. So this fundraiser is not just for the Cibolo Garden, it's for the whole entire Guadalupe County Master Gardeners. We have 35 projects in the county, and we're going to be highlighting 5 of our projects that are on the west side of the county. So we've got the Gutierrez Demonstration Garden of Shirts, the Marion Veterans Memorial Park, the Mill Street in New Braunfels is going to also be there, and then the Gutierrez Park off of Bogfield. So we have 5 different gardens. Our garden, of course, will be the Spotlight Garden because we'll be hosting it so that we get to be the superstar of the event. And
have the community come in and see for themselves what's been going on, how we've been able to revitalize that space. And we are hoping to invite Mrs. Leslie Petey as well. She came by the garden and was able to come through and see all the work that we've been able to do to bring it back to life. And she was very happy, and we were able to give her some of the harvest that we produced that day. So it was a beautiful, beautiful gift to us to meet her and to hear the story about your fellow councilman, Mr. Ron Petey, who the garden is named after. So that was a joy for all of us working there. And we just want to continue to partner with the community, and the city has been so wonderful to help us get all of the flooding that did occur. She mentioned, Ms. Hernandez mentioned, to level out the ground, to give us open access and turn the water on, and they come and check on us from time to time, and they make sure the gates open every day that we're there. So we have a wonderful working relationship with the city right now, and so we are looking forward to hosting this event. And if we are approved to have vendors, we're looking forward to also marketing local businesses on that day to draw more people in so that we can reintroduce ourselves to the community, because it's grown so much. As you know, Cibolo, Shirts, all these areas have grown so much in the last 5-10 years. A lot of people don't even know about the Guadalupe County Master Gardeners and what we offer to the community through education and service. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your hard work and important work for our community. Thank you. Pardon? Yes, it's a approval of them to host the special event.
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
What type of plants are y'all planning on selling? And where are you going to put the vendors?
Great questions. We are growing right now. We grow vegetables, ornamentals, native flowers that are drought tolerant, deer resistant. Not all of them are deer resistant, but we do our best to try to provide all of that. Herbs.
Is there really anything that's deer resistant? Let me know.
Salvia. And then, so we're selling all different types of plants to the community. We're growing most of them ourselves through our grow team. And then the second question again, where are you going to put the vendors? Yes, the vendors are going to go outside of the fence. So we're going to have all the gardens represented through stations inside of the garden. And then there's a city gate that opens very wide. And so we're going to have 5 on one side, 5 on the other. So everyone entering in and having their garden expo experience and going through and buying the plants that are going to be laid out very beautifully throughout the garden, going through the cashier on their way out, they're going to also then be able to shop all the different vendors on the way out of the garden. To keep the flow, it is a smaller space. It's still a great location. We have parking available. We also have partnered with Everyday Christian Fellowship, which is our wonderful neighbor across the street. They've allowed us, if we need extra parking, they've allowed us to utilize their parking lot as well as their public restroom that's open to the public. We have that option. If anyone needs to use the restroom, they can go down the street. So we're trying to really engage our neighbors and utilize, community as much as we can. So they've agreed to do that.
Vitex. I think it might be Vitex that's deer.
Yes, that's one also. Yes. Mostly.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Guadalupe Master Gardeners to host a special event, plant sale, and market at the community garden in accordance with Meeting Code Chapter 54, Section 54106.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second.
Just one final question. Are y'all a nonprofit?
Yes, we are.
I would also encourage y'all to maybe apply for our strategic partnership grant. We have a grant open on our website, so if you can just Google strategic partnership grant and maybe apply for some funds, and maybe that'll also help with the garden.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
That suggestion.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Mayor
That's
and
good.
council
Great
members.
suggestion.
Thank
Yeah.
you all.
All right. 12D, presentation, discussion, action on the annual comprehensive financial report for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. Ms. Miranda. Oh, and you brought company.
Brought company tonight. Section 7.17 of our city charter and local government code 103.001 calls for an annual independent audit by a CPA to be completed within 180 days of fiscal year end. Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates has performed the independent audit and prepared the city's annual comprehensive financial report, also known as the ACFR, for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. This is Jacob Toomey of AVA, and he's here to present an overview of the audit and the ACFR. And I will open his
Good evening and
PowerPoint for
welcome, Jacob.
him. And you can use the arrows or the mouse.
Thank you. You should also have bound copies of the financial report in front of you as well. I will be referencing certain pages within the report as I go through. Before I get started, I would just like to say thank you to Anna and Jessica in the finance department and everybody else in the finance department, along with Mr. Reed and everybody at the city. This is a very big report that takes effort from people across the city. There are numbers from the police department, fire department, public works, IT bound in this report. So this is a huge effort by everybody in the city. So I would like to thank everybody in the city and the finance department for helping me get this report in front of y'all and get it done. With that being said, we can begin. So what is an annual financial report? There's a bunch of different parts, starting with an introduction, which is written in part by Mr. Reed and Mrs. Miranda. And then it gets into our report, and then a discussion and analysis of what the report contains, and then a whole lot of statements and information to explain those statements and statistics about the city. It is a dense report and a long report that has a lot of information. If you open it, you will see this little stapled item tucked into the front. I will get back to that at the end of my presentation. But to start out, I would like to go to page 1, which is our independent auditor's report. At the very front, you will see our opinion. And the opinion is the purpose of the audit. The goal is to issue an opinion on whether these statements are materially correct and can be relied upon. If both of those are true, it is called a unmodified or unqualified opinion. This means that you can rely on the financial statements that are within this report, and you can use it because it is materially correct. It is, I would consider, the best opinion you can get. And that's what this independent auditor's report is mainly about. There is an emphasis of matter on page 1 about change in accounting principle. The Government Accounting Standards Board releases statements and regulations and all kinds of things on how accounting is supposed to be done, and we have to follow that. There was a new regulation in the current year that changed how we presented the financials. The reason we bring it up in our audit opinion is because there was a prior period adjustment where we had to restate prior years within this report, but it wasn't because of errors in the previous year. It was because of a change in standards that occurred in this year. Okay. If you continue on to page 4, you'll see management discussion and analysis. What this is overall is a summary of everything that's about to come within these statements. It's highlights consolidated information. I'm not going to get really too deep into this section because I'm about to give you a summary and highlights of the financial information. So going through it twice would be a lot and a little boring. Okay, so for the financial highlights, I'll mainly be speaking on page 16 and 17 during this section. This is the statement of net position. It shows the assets, what the city has, and the liabilities of the city. One thing to note is you will see fixed assets on here. You will see long-term debt. So you can see all the great things you built over the years and all the debt you had to incur to build those things. The main things to note here is that your assets were 59 million more at September 30th than your liabilities. So you had 59 million more in assets than you did in liabilities at year end. About 20 million of that is sitting in cash. This was an increase of 14 million. A lot of this was related to grant revenues, increased property values, bringing up your property tax, and capital contributions. This would be donated infrastructure when those developments build the streets, and then they give it to you to maintain and continue to provide that infrastructure to the residents and citizens of this city. That would be your governmental activities side of things. That's kind of like your police department, your fire department, your public works. You also have business type activities. This is going to be the things like water and sewer, drainage. Here, the assets exceeded the liabilities by 85.2 million at year end. Of this amount, you had an increase in unrestricted. That's what you have to go spend. That's what you can easily, what is liquid to fund future operations of 11 million, which is an increase of 1.8. And I'll get more into what that actually means in a second. Okay, so here you have financial highlights for the primary government. You'll see that line that says unrestricted. For the governmental activities, you have 13.773 million. This represents about 4.9 months of your standard operations. That does not include capital outlay. That doesn't include paying your annual debt payments. That's unrestricted, what you can go and spend on your general operations. You'll see in the business type activities column that it's 11 million. This represents 7.7 months of general standard operations for your business type, which is primarily your water and sewer operations. The GFOA, the Government's Finance Officer Association, recommends that you keep between 3 and 6 months in this unrestricted, in this fund balance. So you're within that recommendation, a little over within the business type. So you're in what the GFOA, who gives the certificate of excellence on this report, you're in their recommendation. Okay. So there is another set of statements. This is probably what you're more familiar with. And if you turn to page 23, this is your revenues and expenditures. And this is on the basis that y'all are doing your budget. So you have your debt payments, you have your capital outlay, so that you know how you're spending your money, which is why I love bringing up this statement. You'll notice that the numbers are a little different just because there is no long-term debt because it's an expenditure now, and there's no fixed assets because, again, it's an expenditure. This is just another way to present it and something you're probably more familiar with. Here you'll notice there's a general fund. This is most of the day-to-day operations, fire department, police department, code enforcement, court, planning and development. All those kinds of things are going to be in your general fund. And then you have additional funds for specific things like grants, traffic impact, capital projects, debt service, and then a bunch of really small funds that aren't considered major, that can be anything from Cibolo Fest to child safety. For the general fund, there was an increase. There was a decrease of 238,000, but overall for all of the funds, there was an increase of 9 million. Sorry, I am a little tired. I have a 7-week-old at home. So there was an increase of all the funds of 9 million. This is mainly caused by the issuance of debt in the current year. There was a 2025 bond issuance, and then there was also additional debt to acquire long-term leases of police vehicles, public works vehicles, and different departmental vehicles that allowed you to increase your fund balance because you were issuing that debt for capital outlay. At the end of the year, you did have quite a bit of this fund balance restricted, mainly for capital improvement. This is in your traffic impact funds. This is going to go mainly towards streets. Capital projects, a lot of this is related to the 2025 bond issuance, so it'll be related to the project specifically outlined in that bond issuance. And then the debt service fund, so this is stuff specifically to help pay off the debt in the future years. Remaining, you have 6.7 million of unrestricted that can go towards future spending, and this is representing about 4 months of standard operations, which again, GFOA is recommending 3 to 6 months, so you're in that recommendation line. Okay. So if you continue on to page 28, you'll have the water and sewer fund, the drainage fund. This is your business type activities. You'll notice that the net position increased by 8.2 million. Most of that is coming from the water and sewer fund, which saw that increase thanks to increased sewer revenue because of rate changes and because of contributed capital. Those developments that come in, those big projects that come in, are building the sewer and water infrastructure out for you and then donating it. They're building out the drainage infrastructure and donating it to the city so that y'all don't have to do that. But that's still something that we recognize as part of the financials for the city. And that allowed y'all's business type activities to grow in the current year. Just some other highlights. I talked about the new accounting standards and the prior period adjustment that it caused. I just want to bring that up so that there's no surprise on why that is there. The animal services facility improvements were completed in fiscal year 2025. Y'all got a brand new fire truck in 2025, probably one of the fastest fire trucks I've ever seen bought and delivered in the past few years. And then y'all started a bunch of major road improvement packages in 2025 that are still ongoing, and we'll get to see continue in 2026. So the letters of conduct of audit, so that was that little letter that was tucked into the front page. This goes over some fun things. If you turn to the second page, you'll see significant accounting policies where we talk one more time about the new accounting standards that was issued. Significant accounting estimates, these are estimates within the financials. There's also what is sensitive financial statement disclosures, things that are subject to change. Any significant difficulties, which you'll notice we didn't have any. Disagreements with management, again, we didn't have any. Uncorrected and corrected misstatements. So if there were any big corrections that were made, and a lot of these are routine, they're corrected, but they aren't error. They're not mistakes that were made by management. It's just a routine part of the audit, like the big one there being the prior period adjustment for GASB 101. That's something we helped a lot of our clients implement. It's not something that we really saw management do beforehand. Accrue capital outlay for new capital lease liabilities. These are stuff that we're helping our clients out with everywhere and not indicative of deficiencies in internal control or problems within the city. And then obviously there's a section for management representation, stuff that y'all told us, any consultings that we had with outside entities, any compliance issues that we found would also be in here. So that is everything from me. Mr. Reed and Mrs. Miranda both have my contact information if you have questions that you think of at a later date, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that I can right now about this packet, this binder, and anything contained in it.
Any questions? Well, you left him speechless. Well, I think that it's a big document and we will have to get through it. And do we have this electronically as well?
It should be digital. I provide a digital copy as well to them.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well. Yeah. Thank you. And I'm going to move up 12F. I'm going to bump, sorry. Discussion action to approve the CEDC Edge grant for Max and Louise New York Diner in the not to exceed amount of $50,000. Mr. Hardy.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Before you, we give you a little bit of background. We launched the EDGE grant, we being the CEDC and the EDC staff. We launched the EDGE grant in July of 2025 as a way for businesses outside of our Old Town, downtown area to be able to access grant funds for their desperately needed projects. As part of that grant process, the EDC board had a subcommittee that reviewed our grant process and wrote this grant out. And they carved out a special circumstance line item, and that's what I'm bringing before you this evening. The special circumstances was designed for impactful projects and other projects that fall under that special circumstance. You know, for instance, if your grill goes out and you need to replace it, that's a special circumstance, and if it exceeds the authority of $15,000, this gives the board leeway to award that amount of money. Before you this evening, Drew spoke earlier, so I won't steal his thunder. You know about the Max and Louis project. Max and Louis has invested considerable capital into our community at their location at Cibolo Crossings, upwards of $4.6 million by my count, which is a 1% ratio on this grant. The EDC board heard this on Thursday the 19th. They approved it unanimously with minimal discussion. They believe in this project, and because of the way our bylaws are written and per legal advice, we bring it to before this body for we recommend approval as presented with the not to exceed amount. Verified paid invoices. And that's the background on this project.
Thank you. Discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve Max and Louis not to exceed $50,000 for the EDGE grant.
Second.
I have motions and seconds. Okay, discussion action to approve a CEDC EDGE grant for Ace River City in the not to exceed amount of $50,000.
It's me again. Second verse, same as the first, is what I told the EDC board on Thursday evening. The family has waited here, and I want to say thank you to them because I really gave them an out to give their public comment and then go home, but I appreciate you staying. This project represents the same thing, a heavy investment in our community, representing now, as I heard this evening, $2 million, which this grant would only roughly a 2% ratio, a little bit over 2.5% ratio. So same primer, same everything. The EDC board heard it on Thursday. They approved it unanimously. It's before you all, and we recommend approval as well.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 12G to approve a EDGE grant for Ace River City in not to exceed amount of $50,000.
I'll second.
Now, can they get opened? Because I needed some bolts yesterday and they were not there.
That's what they're working on right now.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, now, discussion action, back to 12E, discussion action regarding the final plat of Cibolo Farms Unit 4. Mr. Spencer, welcome and good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The owner is Lennar Homes of Texas, Land and Construction. The representative is Mary Stewart with KCI Technologies, Inc. The area is 20.107 acres. This is located south of Green Valley Road. This is in the city's ETJ. The proposed use is for 55 residential lots, 3 open space lots, 5 drainage and open space lots. Utility providers are GVSUD for sewer and water, and GVEC for electricity. The Cibolo Farms subdivision lies outside the corporate limits of the city of Cibolo. The final plat of Cibolo Farms establishes 55 residential lots, as well as 3 open space lots and 3 drainage and open space lots. The preliminary plat was approved by council on November 18th. An amended land study for the subdivision was approved with 3 conditions by City Council back on September 28th of 2021. 2 of those conditions related to temporary access during construction, and the other was in regards to permanent secondary access made through with the connection of Saddle Creek Ranch Unit 9 to Coy Lane with the platting of this unit, Unit 4. I know within your past meeting on the preliminary plat, there was some discussion in regards to that connection. And afterwards, the representative had provided an exhibit. That exhibit is within your packets showing that connection. The land study for this subdivision encompasses approximately 105 acres and includes a total of 385 residential lots. This is the 4th and final unit of the subdivision. The plat includes approximately 3,362 linear feet of privately maintained roadway. All roadway maintenance within the subdivision will be the responsibility of the Property Owners Association. None of the internal streets are identified on the city's MTP. Traffic impact analysis report was reviewed and submitted as part of this final plat submittal. Again, water and sewer for this unit is Green Valley Special Utility District. Electricity is provided by GVEC. Letters of certification from both entities recommending approval of this unit have been submitted. The stormwater management plan for Cibolo Farms Unit 4 has been reviewed by city engineer. According to that report, detention ponds will be built within both units 1 and 4. Approximately 18 acres of off-site flow as well as flow from the development will drain into the proposed Unit 4 detention pond. No portion of the property lies within the FEMA floodplain. At its March 11th regular meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously voted 7-0 to recommend approval of the final plat. Staff and the city engineer reviewed the plat and its associated documents. The approval criteria, along with staff's findings for each of those criteria, is attached within your packets. The plat submittal was deemed to be in compliance with the subdivision regulations outlined in the UDC, as well as the Texas Local Government Code. Therefore, staff is recommending approval of this final plat. And we are available if you have any questions.
Any questions? Any questions? Go.
Is any part of this plat the one that connects to Saddle Creek Ranch, the new phase?
Yes, ma'am. This is Unit 4, and it connects directly to Unit 9 of Saddle Creek Ranch.
Got it.
I believe the connecting road
It's
is...
that bottom one on the far right, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
I can't
It
read
should
it.
be Cowboy Valley, I believe.
And if I could add to Mr. Spencer's comments, this is the future connection, the major roadway that's connecting through here to Coy Lane in the near future. So as land to the east end of Coy Lane develops, that property would connect to the road where it's ending in this unit. So it provides a secondary outlet on major roadways, Coy Lane, and then what is the major road called? You just said it, Cowboy Canyon?
Cowboy Lane?
Cowboy Lane?
Yes, sir.
That may not be the major road that goes to Green Valley Road, but
Oh, that's Country Club Boulevard.
thank you very
Yeah.
much. So,
But that's not what's coming out of this section, Country Club Boulevard. It's Cowboy Lane that comes out to Coy Lane in this section.
Yeah, Cowboy Lane within this section connects to Country Club Boulevard, which also goes to Green Valley Road.
we do have that in Agenda Link, the exhibit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And all of these streets are private
Correct, yes, ma'am.
in the HOA?
In the HOA, yes, ma'am.
And that's interesting.
And mayor and council, this neighborhood is part of a municipal utility district, which has authorities for road maintenance as well as the debt for the actual construction. So it's not per se HOAs maintaining it as much as a municipal utility district for which every resident in that district is paying a tax to.
Because it's in the ETJ. Because
And-
it's in
and
our
it's in a
extra,
mud.
it's not in city limits.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed, you said the exhibit showing where Cibolo Farms kind of connects to Saddle Creek is in our agenda link, and it is not. When you click on it, there is nothing there.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry for that. I'm looking at it within Agenda Link and I just opened it. So I'm not,
Well, whatever's pulled up for us to review, that exhibit is not.
It's called Cibolo Farms Saddle Creek Exhibit.
Yeah.
yeah, Cibolo Farm Saddle Creek exhibit. That one's not coming up? There's,
It did not
Is it
like,
loading?
it didn't
No?
know. It's completely blank.
the city secretary screen is showing it. Let's just see if it takes a while to load on yours. It did take a while for it to show up on the screen over there. Is it still not showing up on your screens? Can I do something really fast? If IT is listening, can you share my screen on the overhead? Oh, it's on yours? Okay, then that's fine. I think that works just fine. Okay. Should I do the agenda? Okay. Went way too fast.
Look at that, now it's loading.
It is almost 8 megabyte file, so it's not too big by today's standards, but. Right. And so this is the same document we provided some time ago, and actually the engineer who provided it is sitting in the audience, and I have greatly appreciated their cooperation in providing it. So this is the major roadway right here. That is
Country Club Boulevard.
It's a 5-lane facility, which goes all the way to this unit, which you are considering tonight. And then you can see it touches the, I think this is Unit 9 of Saddle Creek Ranch. Here is Coy Lane right here. So the property that is undeveloped is, my cursor is going over. When that property comes in for development, they will dedicate right-of-way to continue that major roadway to Coy Lane, and there will be a connection made with those two roads. And at this time, Cowboy Way is an internal connection within Cibolo Farms, and it connects over here to an existing or under development road in Saddle Creek Ranch. And so Unit 4 complies with all of our subdivision criteria. And that's why staff is recommending approval. The P&Z recommended approval.
I make a motion to approve 12E.
Second. Oh, sorry.
And IT can take down that screen. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we need to do 12H? No. Thank you. 12I, discussion direction to city manager on email notification to council of potential issues within the city and press release responses to media reports.
The reason that I brought this up is with our last incident that did occur within the city, it hit all of us by surprise. We got a lot of emails asking, and we had to reach out and try to figure out what was going on. So I would like council to give direction to our city manager to make sure that council receives emails when there is a potential issue that's going to affect the city that we really need to be aware of. And if there is some type of press done, that we do at least acknowledge that press. Maybe not as a press release fully, but just an acknowledgement that no comment. There needs to be something. Otherwise, if we just stay silent in regards to stuff, it just looks like we are really guilty of a lot of stuff. And we need to be letting our residents know what is going on. So.
I think in issues of personnel matters that aren't fully resolved, that should be left to the city attorney. And
what I'm referring to is, like Chief Andreas sends us bluffs about issues that are going on, so that way we are aware. So it's not just about personnel matters. It's like stuff that's going where we know that we're going to start getting emails and questions. So we are kind of prepared, and it's just kind of to keep council informed as to what is happening within the city if there's a possible issue that's going to arise.
I agree to an extent. I think that the city is usually reached out to by the media. Anytime that there's an incident, they always reach out to see if there's a comment from the city. If there is a media inquiry that is going to hit the news or something, if we could just get a little blip, FYI, this might pop up. You can direct any questions that you get to the communication department, or you can direct any questions to this person. We don't need to know everything. We are not all knowing, but if we're at an event or something, we get caught off guard, it's like, I didn't have any clue that was going on, then it makes the whole city look like we don't know what we're doing, when really it's not our job. There's a lot of things that are not our job as council. We are not over personnel. We're not over a lot of different things. So it's not really it's our business in the sense that we're elected to serve the city, but it's not our jobs to do that. It would be nice to just have a heads up. But I think that the standard practice, we just need to reiterate with council, the standard practice is we don't make comment. We direct people to the staff that we pay to respond to media inquiries. And then if it's appropriate, we can coordinate with those staff to do an interview or whatever if it's something relevant.
I think that is fine as long as the city, there are certain things that probably once they come out of the CMO's office for open records or no, I mean, there's a line that has to be drawn. I'm not really sure how other cities do that.
Well, they'll often ask us, and we'll tell them, don't say anything, to be quite honest. So, I mean, the problem that you have with a lot of it is, and Wayne and I have talked about this, is that when he sends out information to you about a sensitive topic, it's not protected. Even if he copies me, that doesn't make it attorney-client privilege because it's not legal advice. It's not coming from the attorney. So, you know, I think you trust your city manager, uses discretion and uses judgment. It is a council manager form of government after all. And, you know, he consults with us when these questions come up often to see what he can share. And, you know, the other thing that you can do if you don't have a media policy that dictates who interacts with the media and what type of events will be elevated to the level where you might do a press release or something like that. A lot of cities address it that way. I gave Wayne one to look at that I like, that we helped another city craft. And I think that's the best place to go with it, is to have something that all the council agrees on. So,
do we have a policy for?
We do not have a written policy. All communication to media, from media, goes through our communications manager. So when Dan and I were talking about this today, and he mentioned a particular city, I shot off an email to that city manager asking for a copy of that policy. And so I'll be looking at that, happy to share that with the council as well, and for us to put a policy into place, a written policy into place.
Thank you. Okay. I think that pretty much is it, right? They need to get with the attorney for that. 12J, approval and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement for city engineering services and related task orders to provide engineering services for land development applications and land development related special projects. Mr. Reed.
One second. Mayor and council, with Rick Vasquez out of town, I'm stepping up to fill in on this one. As you know, the Land Development Services uses our master service agreements with multiple engineering firms. For the past several years, Colliers Engineering has been providing the development engineering services. You know Chris Otto is the face of Colliers Engineering, but there's a team that is behind him. Through that team, multiple services are provided, from the subdivision walkthroughs and acceptance and presentations to the actual day-to-day reviews of subdivisions and other development applications that are processed through our planning department. So in the course of doing business, we annually allot money in the Development Services Fund. So this cover sheet shows that City Council approved $115,000 in this year's budget for the Planning Department in the Development Services Fund. And so we're here tonight for you to approve that purchase order or task order to provide those engineering services. And then we get reimbursed for work that they do related to development applications. That reimbursement comes back into the Development Services Fund. So I'm asking for you to approve something that's per the budget.
But this ties us to Colliers Engineering for $115,000?
But for work performed. So we don't give them $115,000. as work is performed on development applications or when the city directs Collier's engineer to do certain work, then we have to pay them for that work. But most of this is developer refunded work. So for example, when Mr. Otto walks a subdivision for preliminary and final acceptance, he bills us for his time. We bill that subdivision developer for that time. And we do this each and every year.
Why does this have to be in a specific engineering firm's name? Why can it not just be in your engineering firm budget?
Because you have to have individual contracts with each engineering firm. Like, you can have a line item in your budget for engineering services, but in order
Right.
to pay them, you have to have a professional services
We
agreement
do.
or such.
We do have professional services agreement with multiple engineering firms, correct?
Yes, MSAs, we have master service agreements with 6 engineering firms. That was a competitive process several years ago after I arrived. This is an annual task order to a particular firm. We do this with other firms as well. But for development services, we contract with Collier's engineer to do that work. And so that's what this task order is for.
This is for final inspections
and development review. So when a plat comes in through the digital format, the reviewing that subdivision, be it a drainage report, other reports, and Mr. Otto can speak to some of that detail.
Yeah, I mean, this is for everything that is development related. We review drainage reports, CLOMARs, LOMARs, traffic impact analysis, the plats themselves, conduct preliminary and final acceptance walks. Everything development related is done through this contract, and we keep track of the hours. We bill the city for the hours. We also bill the developers for those hours so that the city is reimbursed the vast majority of the cost. There are some items that we do for planning that's not specific to a development, but that's a very small piece of what we do.
I have a question. So are you saying that we have other engineer firms that could also do this exact same type of work?
We do have other firms that can perform engineering services, absolutely.
Okay. I just feel that we haven't diversified any of that, per se, at least since I've been here. And I think diversity is good, and just seeing other reports and other recommendations. And I think it's a good time to start.
So what we do is we do diversify. So for example, Julio's not here, but in Public Works, we use LAN for a lot of our roadway projects. So we keep going back to them because they're really good at roadway work. Right now, we have found that Collier's Engineering is providing the services that we need for development review, and so we're leaning on them. To your point, though, that doesn't mean that Collier's Engineer is guaranteed year to year to remain as our development review engineer or for Chris Otto to be our city engineer. So staff will make that call. If we're finding that they're not providing those services, we would want to make a change. That's why we have master service agreements. We can go to them. Not every master service agreement is created equal. Of those 6, I'm making this number up, we may have had 3 that had similar experience in development review that could do the same services that they do. Other firms might just be really good at road construction drawings and project management. But out of all of our MSAs, I'm sure that there were some other firms that could do development review.
Is there a reason why we didn't get maybe a list of recommending like different options? Usually how we do, I know the bidding is differently, but these are the different engineering firms that we have at our disposal. We would like to, we need the funds for city engineering services of $115,000 to be allocated to an engineer firm, and then the criteria and all of these things. So generally, is there a specific reason why it's always Collier's?
In the Development Services Fund, it's because they have been providing the services, meeting our expectations, and they're well qualified to do development review.
But there are other engineering firms that could possibly do the same.
Correct.
Okay.
And as I described, if they're not meeting our expectations, we have no obligation to stay with Collier's Engineer. We would pivot to one of the other firms.
Okay. And it's not about like not meeting our expectations, it's just diversifying the work. So, yeah.
Sorry. My apologies.
I make a motion to approve 12J. I would like to have a future discussion about the engineering services and the 6 on the master whatever list.
Yes.
And discuss what their experience is and kind of look at that too. The master service agreements, look at that and kind of have a better understanding of that. I don't believe we as council have ever gone over that list or discussed which engineering services are used for what. It'd be good to have that background.
So we can bring kind of an overview of the 6 different MSAs that we have. And again, I can't even remember the details of each one. This was almost 4 years ago. So I'd be happy to bring those back just as an overview of all 6 MSAs and what the expertise was of the multiple firms. Is that what you're asking for, Ms. Cunningham?
Yes,
We will do that. Thank you.
thank you.
12K, discussion action on celebrating America's 250th birthday. Mr. McLaughlin.
As everyone is aware, it is America's 250th birthday. I think Cibolo should do something a little extra. All good? All right. What I was thinking is bunting down in Old Town. We could use that over and over again, not just for 4th of July, but also Memorial Day, Veterans Day, things of that nature, and also a banner up over Borgfield that we had, I believe it was it Everyday that did one a few months ago, back near Christmas time. So that's all I'm really thinking. Talked to Mr. Reed a little bit about it. I've been talking to Ms. McDaniel from Parks and Recs Committee about what we could possibly do, and that's kind of what we came up with. I know originally I talked to Mr. Reed about the mural wall down in Old Town, and since the front face is the 60th anniversary, we didn't want to touch that, and that's why I offered that suggestion to the historic committee if they could incorporate some kind of messaging. But I think this being the 250th, we don't want to miss an opportunity and not being the city that does a little something extra.
Did you say you went to with the Parks and Rec?
Ms. McDaniel, right there.
Okay. What? I'm sorry?
Just one.
This,
Oh.
since the historic committee is talking about doing flags, this may be a project to present to them as well. I think either Parks or Historic would be great for it, but that may be a good way to filter it through.
Well, and I think it's a different scope, right? What you're talking about doing is the bunting on the
Yes.
the lines over, and not in Old Town. That would be on Everyday Way up by Walmart and the new downtown area. So it would be a little different, but you're thinking it.
I mean, it's flag related. But I think either committee would be great at working on that, or I'm all for it. I think the logistics of it is going to require someone to be a little more on top of it, or a group to be on top of it, because to put those banners across the road, you have to coordinate the purchase and design and all that of the banner. You have to coordinate with GVEC to get the banner hung. The bunting, depending on where you want to hang those, could take some negotiating with GVEC and others, so.
Well, either the Parks and Rec or the Historic Committee. But I do think because it's 2 separate kind of ideas, but in that theme, and if Parks and Rec wants to kind of be that presenter.
I would try to do it early too, because Armed Forces Day is mid-May. So that would be good to get that off, because that really kicks off, like, I know Month of the Military Child is next month in April, but at least Armed Forces Day, you have Military Spouse Appreciation Day in May, and kind of starting with all the patriotic events coming up.
That's kind of the idea of purchasing the bunting, is we'd be able to reuse it over and over, and it wouldn't just be for this year, but also next year, and for as long as the material stays put. I think the banner, though, specifically would be for this year for the 250th anniversary.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes, it's kind of different, but, and interesting that it would be on the Walmart side or the CBD, the Cibolo Valley Drive side, and the flags would be on the Old Main side. I think that's kind of an interesting decoration. So would you take it back to Parks and Rec? Would you take it back to them? Or you want to make an action? We don't have a, let me see.
If we can, I'd like to make an action. Now, whether that's to send it back to Parks and Rec, give them a budget to work with. But to Ms. Patterson's point, you don't want to wait too long.
Do you know how much it costs?
Bunting's roughly $30 a pop. I honestly don't know off the top of my head how many we would need. And then, Mr. Reed, I don't know if you have any idea about how much a banner would cost. The banner that we had talked about over Borgfeld.
I don't have that price.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I
But
think
if
we
we want to
need
punt it to Park and Rec, and if they want to come back with
the budget.
yeah,
I
I'm good with
think,
that.
I think that's a good idea if somebody wants to make a motion or if you,
I'll make a motion to propose a project for the Parks and Rec Committee in celebrating America's 250th birthday.
Second.
I think so. Is that okay with you, Val? You got it? To take it back to Park, you got it? Okay. Yeah. Ta-da. L, discussion, presentation on council's trend analysis and the strategic management workshop. Mr. Reed.
Mayor and council, earlier today, Nicole Perez sent to you the outline of the agenda for your strategic management workshop. What we're handing to you right now is what you have been provided in the past, plus what you are being handed is the one page of Ms. Cunningham's ideas that she had written down. So at the last meeting, I did not have that written up for you. And then also a one page of the ideas that Mr. McLaughlin had added. So other than those 2 pages, which are the last 2 pages of what we just handed you, it's the same trend analysis. So let me walk you through at a high level your strategic management workshop. We're going to start by recapping your trend analysis and really talking about the big ideas that come out of that trend analysis. And I spent some time with the mayor talking about what we saw under the past, present, and future categories of the trend analysis. And there are 2 ideas that really jumped out. One was drainage and stormwater, and the other one was growth and development. So some of you will remember a exercise that we've done in the past at our strategic management workshop called problem to solution space. And we actually worked on stormwater 2 years ago at your strategic management workshop. So we're going to bring that back up, and we're going to show council how we have been working hard at going from problem to solution space. But we've had 2 years to think about this. We have new elected officials. And so we'd like to further take your best ideas here and put them in that problem to solution space. So what happens from that solution space? From the solution space, we get ideas that go into your strategic plan. They become actions of what we should focus on over the next 1 to 5 years. So the other big idea that jumps out in the trend analysis here is your ideas around growth and development. So we're going to put this on the same kind of problem to solution space board, and we're going to get your ideas of how do we address those opportunities or those challenges that we're having presently, and that you also see in the future, how can we best address them. Today you did a workshop before your council meeting. There's an example of putting into place things that we have traditionally not done, and that is a development agreement with a developer in the ETJ to strengthen our ability to manage the quality as well as to strengthen the public safety of developments that are in the ETJ. So in the morning, you kick off the trend analysis. We do a little Easter egg hunt break, right? 9:50 to 10:20. You come back, and then we work on the problem to solution space. I skipped over in the introduction and open remarks, I asked the mayor to give a leadership philosophy opening. And we did this back in 2022, and I think in 23 we did it as well. So Mayor, I wanted you to have that opportunity as our mayor to talk about your leadership philosophy with the council. And that kicks off the workshop. Then we do the trend analysis recap. Then we do problem to solution space. And we work through the evening going into your strategic plan. And then we also have a budgeting exercise. We're not diving deep because we only have an hour allotted for it, but we want to also, while we're talking about your best ideas, things we need to tackle, it was a great opportunity for us to end the day talking about the budget. And so we're just going to have a visual aid discussion about the general fund. Again, we have 1 hour. And talking about here where your expenses are, primarily it's your people, and here are your buckets of expenses coming in. And by talking about that, we'll use that visual aid exercise at a future budget workshop as well. We'll end the day with your plus delta feedback on the workshop itself. How well did we do? What did you really like? What could we do better next time? We've done that each and every year, and I've been pleased how when you identify something, we slip that into the next year so that we're getting better and better at making your time on a Saturday value add for you, for the whole council, as well as for the staff that takes the time to be there. What I did skip over is after the lunch break is I call it the green card exercise. That's where the department heads stand in front of you, and on little green sheets of paper, they put up on the wall the projects and the initiatives that are in your strategic plan, and where are they on those at this time. So we're going to do that again. For you new council members, Ms. Brown, Ms. Patterson, Mayor, every year I see that council peppers the department heads with questions. Well, have you thought of this? Well, what's holding you up on that? And so it's just a great way for you to have time to talk directly to your department heads on specific things that have made it into your strategic plan and that they're working on. That's it. Again, Nicole Perez sent an email with that agenda, worked with the city secretary to get that posted. Any questions? Okay. I'm looking forward to Saturday. And, okay, we're good.
Yes.
Oh, did you have a question, Ms. Cunningham?
And the Easter Bunny. Okay. Moving on to 12M, discussion from council members that have attended seminars, events, or meetings. Mr. McLaughlin.
Good?
Yes.
Okay. I attended the NEP luncheon, and so we got a brief on the great Texas Air Show coming up at JBSA Randolph in May 2nd through the 3rd. And then I also attended the chamber luncheon, the CIP subcommittee meeting, the Women's History Month luncheon. So thank you to Mayor Latimer and Ms. Perez for being part of that planning committee. It was a great day. And then I did the Max and Louise restaurant walkthrough. Very much looking forward to them opening in Cibolo. They have put so much thought in the details. It's going to be a great restaurant and place to go. So I'm looking forward to that. I attended the Raise Your Hand Texas Community Leaders Meeting, the Fountain of Life Community Church groundbreaking, and the SAWS desalination tour.
Whew, that was a lot. Thank you so much. I've seen you out and about. Ms. Cunningham?
So I am on the school district's community advisory committee, and we had a meeting last Wednesday. This committee meets like once a month, off and on throughout the year. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's not. But at the last meeting, they talked about the bond. So there is another bond that's coming out. Mr. Reed and I were also on the bond committee for the district, which is separate from the community advisory committee. But that was a very long process where we toured all of the schools, looked at all of the issues and things that needed to be upgraded, looked at the discrepancies between the two high schools and what is available, especially in fine arts and STEM type classes. And so the bond committee made recommendations about what to put into the bond. The bond is very significant. I'm hoping that the school district will be able to have someone at our next meeting to kind of give a little overview of the bond. They had a conflict, but I think they're trying to make it work to be on the next agenda to discuss that bond. But just so you're aware, we do not have anything, Cibolo does not have anything on the ballot in May, but this is something that our residents will be able to vote on because we are in the district, so the school district. So it's very important to kind of know what's going on. It looks like a lot of money, but after that review, it's really enlightening to see how much the district has grown and how much our capacity in those school buildings has not kept up with it. So that's a really interesting presentation to hear from them. And then the CIP subcommittee also met last week to discuss future projects. And I believe that might be part of our strategic session that we're having on Saturday as well, is discussing some of those CIP projects.
All right, so there's a lot to get involved. I think Marissa, you and I had showed up to some similar events, just as well as Ms. Brown and the mayor. So yeah, showed up to that same Max and Louise tour. I think that was really great. We got to see inside the facilities, how much progress they've made and how much is needing to be left over. But their enthusiasm and I think their support, especially receiving the EDGE grant tonight, will help propel them forward. There was a Foundation of Life Church groundbreaking ceremony. It's amazing that another church is opening up in Hakerville Road, and just seeing the community outreach over there is very, just very encouraging. So it was great to celebrate with them, part of our chamber, just as well as celebrating with them. We had an opportunity to attend the BVYA opening parade and ceremony for our area for Shirt Cibolo, and celebrate the little baseball teams and everyone's efforts and just opening up baseball season. There was just a lot of enthusiasm and excitement over the children. It was great to be a part of that. Also, being that it's Women's History Month, there was a couple of women's events that we were invited to. One of them was the Women's Appreciation Luncheon that was hosted by, I believe it was a board, and they did a phenomenal job in just bringing our cities together, Shirt, Cibolo, the school board, leaders in the community from the chamber. There was just so many women that do so much for our communities there, just enjoying a meal and hearing from our city administration just as well. Mr. Reed got to speak, as well as the city manager from Shirts, and we got to hear from Colonel Schneider, who is head of the air show, and it was great just to hear her speech on women, their influence and leadership. So that was very encouraging as well. Had an opportunity to tour actually the Horizon Pregnancy Resource Center shortly after our last council meeting. It was very enlightening that we have a resource center in our own backyards. They're right in Garden Ridge off of Nacogdoches Road. They're not too far away, and understanding that the demographic is usually between 24 to 32 years old. One would think that that's younger, but no, it's actually within that young adult to, just older, I don't know what you call it, 32, old, slightly older adult. They're still so young. And so, but just having those resources and the guidance, they have a store that they could get parenting classes as well and earn some bucks so that they can go ahead and purchase things for baby. Also, there was the chamber event that many of us attended. Got to hear from Judge-elect Michael Carpenter speak regarding some legislation updates, future legislation updates that we could probably anticipate. Also, let's see, I believe desalination plant tour with SAW. That was incredible to have been a part of that and just see what that desalination process entails, particularly when it comes to brackish water, understanding how much water is used from Carrizo Springs, from Wilson, the aquifer itself, how recycled water is used in the city of San Antonio. It just gave a really great history of just SAWS itself and how it's gotten to where it is today. And having that desalination plant, I think, is just going to be huge for our region and for our area. And so that was very helpful. Then there was the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame, which many of our sister cities also were there present, and it was just neat to see one of our very own sister city assistant city manager, Monique. I forget her last name, but Monique, she was also presented and she was inducted, and it was just great to celebrate with everyone. For public, it was. Say it again. I forget, but anyhow, that was a lot in a nutshell. There's a lot to do, a lot more things coming, but it's great to be active in community and just represent our council.
Ms. Roberts?
I didn't do that much. I went to NEP. It was nice to hear about the air show, and I did reach out to Mayor Latimer in regards to a potential event that we could participate in with our public works and getting our drainage out to the younger generation, especially on that Friday when when they're going to, bus in all the kids. That would be a great opportunity to try to help everybody kind of learn how drainage really works. That's really all I've done so far. Thank you.
And you won a door prize.
And I won a door prize for the first time in my life. It was fabulous. Oh, and I just got back from Pensacola, Florida, home of the Thunderbird. Blue Angels, Navy. Go Navy. That's it.
Nothing like those golden nights, U.S. Army. So I did a lot, just like Norma, Councilwoman Sanchez. So I did some community engagement events. I participated as well in the second annual Women's Appreciation Luncheon. Strong event, kind of highlighted leadership, service, and community impact. I attended the Chamber Luncheon, continuing to strengthen relationships with local business leaders and stakeholders. The fun one was Torrin, Max, and Louie's. I love supporting local businesses and things like that, and economic development efforts. And there's a lot of work being put in there. Plus, I love Max and Louie's, so I will definitely be someone that goes there often because I don't cook. But I also enjoyed the SAWS tour, and I arrived late because I had to go to work. So thank you to Ms. Perez and you, Wayne, for coming to get me. I was lost out there. So the high points of that was the San Antonio, the story. I love the story of it all. When they talked about San Antonio sold water rights they sold water rights to San Antonio for $30 million. It's crazy. It was the best long-term strategic decision ever for that guy, I'm sure. The city also has maintained water usage at the 1989 levels, despite the population growth due to the model of sustainability. I thought that was really awesome. The historical reference of water services and how it used to cost like $4 or something like that. It was crazy. Highlighted how valuable water resources have now become. It's like water's the new gold. Also, I enjoyed watching that huge waterfall. I forgot the name of it, but the operational infrastructure insights, understanding the turbidity management and how critical it is in maintaining water quality. That was great. The amount of gallons of water that is treated there and how it's injected into wells and all that other crazy stuff that was super interesting. And the importance of how water must maintain its minerals and how water that is too clean could kill you. I had no idea. I also attended the Horizons Pregnancy Center, is that what it was called? Yeah, it was really interesting for me. Yeah, Resource Center. Most impressed by the services that they have for fathers. That's not something that you see often. Also, I had the opportunity to work with my subcommittee and develop a potential resolution for special events processes and procedures, focusing on establishing clear and structured approach on how special events will be managed across our city. I'm looking forward to some professional development by attending the Policy Summit in April and the TML Region 7 Conference and other upcoming engagements like the ISD for elected officials tour that's coming up. I will be present at that as well. And I wanted to say, as an elected official, I do take this responsibility very serious. I took an oath, much like that oath that I took when I enlisted and I commissioned into the active duty Army. And that oath was to serve the people and everything that comes with that responsibility, so you won't get excuses out of me. Any issues that have been brought to me, I take ownership of that and will work to get a resolution for that. So that's why I ran and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Well, I attended all of the luncheons, the NEP, the chamber, and I was fortunate enough to be part of the Women's Historic Women's History Month official recognition that recognized the hard working managers within Cibolo and Shirts and the ISD, our SCUC ISD. That was an amazing opportunity to celebrate their contribution to our community. I did work on the ordinance subcommittee, and I've done work with a council person to get our charter obligation for our employees completed, and I meet tomorrow or Thursday rather, to get more information to make sure that we are meeting our obligations for the charter for our reviews. I want to send a shout out to Fountain of Life Church. I was not able to attend their groundbreaking and due to a family issue, but I want to say how excited I am for our community that they are here, and I look forward to their contribution. The probably most exciting and slightly embarrassing thing that I did this week in my role as mayor was pitch a softball. And I would like to extend a thank you to BVYA for inviting me out to embarrass myself with my underhanded pitch. It was joy to see all those kids and families together.
Did you get it over the plate?
I did.
Excellent.
After it bounced. So I am done with that. Anything else? I know that we do have upcoming policy summit, and 4 of us are. We do have an upcoming Texas Policy Summit, and I am excited about attending that. So moving on to 12M. Discussion on items the City Council would like to see on future agendas.
I would like to make sure that you do have it where I can present anything regarding CRWA, please. To council.
It's
on every agenda.
That's good.
On every agenda?
Once, you ask for once a month, it will be once a month, ma'am.
Okay.
Which one, the first or the second? Let's do the second, because the first meeting is the first. Sorry, my alarm's going off for my sugar.
That's okay.
So we're referring second month. Yeah, the second meeting, because I can do that. Thank you.
To kind of caveat on that, I was going to mention that maybe we can get a space for council members, elected members, to do stuff like that and present, maybe some updates. I know I keep coming to you when the city manager about updated statuses on things like roads and things like that. Maybe there's a place that maybe we can put it under what you present, where we give those updates and things like that. Okay. I'm sure it's
And
there.
for any council-appointed positions on outside agencies, you could do that as a council.
Okay.
I mean, right, the mayor has an update, I have an update, including roads. Ms. Roberts has now requested a standing CRWA update, that'll be on there. And if there's any other outside agencies that a council member's appointed to, we could add that
Okay.
as a standard. We could call it the second meeting of every month, or whatever council
We're here to
would
work.
like.
I think it would be beneficial, so the item we just did where we talked about events and seminars and meetings and trainings and stuff that we went to, that was the intention of that item. And then it ended up just being, let me list everything that I've been at. And there's no real content to it. Like if I attend a training for TML, we should be presenting on what we learned from that TML training, what we're going to do. Or if we're on a committee like the Community Advisory Committee, we should have time to set aside to discuss what's the pertinent information to share. And this had brought, when did I bring it up? Like 3 years ago or so, the training, council training. If we went to training, then we needed to present it to council and have a handout or something with the information.
That'd be good.
I think Norma did one and we had a binder started. I don't know where that ended up, but it never became an official policy.
Yep, we did actually get a policy in place.
Okay.
Ms. Sanchez-Stevens, myself, and Mr. Hicks actually worked on
Awesome.
that and got that.
I think maybe we should revisit
place.
that and then maybe look at how to implement that and kind of these committees and things, other things that we go to, kind of put it into that as well. Maybe not where we have a handbook, a binder in the back with all the information, but where we're streamlining it, because that was the purpose of this item, the last item.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't mean-
Well, at the
right.
trend analysis, we did talk about that, expectations of council members and things like that. So maybe that's something we can expound upon and create an opportunity to do that.
Ms. Sanchez-Stevens?
Oh, I just had mentioned, yes, regarding the policy itself, it didn't mandate something written, a verbal explaining of, I think, no, it didn't mandate it. It was an option to go ahead and print that out, but verbally specifying what was learned at the training or at the event, like the desalination plant. You went into
Yeah,
more detail with that than
absolutely.
I did. We gave some overview of that, but yeah, I feel, I think it's important that council members give that opportunity of where they have been to represent because we do get invitations and it's great to be out there. They get, let's say for instance, like the chamber, they appreciate it. To everybody may be just another ribbon cutting, but to the chamber, it means so much for each city to go and represent.
Yes, it
either
does.
with staff, council members, elected officials, and just to have that presence there, it just shows support through these partnerships. So mentioning those things doesn't, I guess, we should be able to mention those events that we've been to because it gives credit to. Okay.
That's not what I was saying. I was just
Okay, I'm
saying,
sorry.
like,
It made
because
it
on
sound-
mine, I even have on here, what is the expectation for reporting out of subcommittees and appointed or other committees that we're on?
Okay.
So like, even our subcommittees, when we meet in our subcommittees, we're
So-
not doing, I think we're talking too much for other items.
Yes,
but-
you're
Well,
right.
so what I would like to say is that this isn't a future agenda item, but we do have our strategic plan coming
Yes.
up, and we could maybe add some kind of policy in the future about that. And so,
I would also like, at some future point, I don't know if it's a council meeting or whatever, we went to Ireland and it was beautiful and glorious and wonderful and magical and everything great. But one thing that they have is a very strong recycling program. And it was very clean. Everything was very clean, very fresh. And our recycling program is like we have a recycling bin. When I recorded that video for Waste Connections for the hazardous waste, he mentioned something about composting and residents being able to get free soil or something. So I think that they have other things that they may be able to work with us, or we work with them and offer to residents.
so for future agenda items, maybe, Mr. Reed, you could ask Waste Management to put together a grouping of the things that they have, send it to Ms. Cunningham, and she can evaluate which one she'd like to put on a future agenda.
Yes, I'll have Waste Connections do that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, 12O, discussion action on the review and confirmation of all upcoming special meetings and workshops and scheduling the time, date, and place of additional special meetings or workshop. Ms. Chapman.
So of course, you have your strategic management workshop on Saturday at 8:30 a.m., bright and early. And then we'll have the break for the Easter egg hunt that you guys can go and participate in that for a little bit. Outside of that, I think your normal NEP luncheons and stuff like that, but I think I sent you a calendar invite earlier today for Shred Day, April 18th. If you can make it, great. If not, we understand. Dress appropriately. Some of the paper that they bring is not clean, so gloves maybe too. So outside of that, if I think of anything, I'll email you or send you a calendar invite.
I do have a question about the development agreement. How are you going to manage that? I'm asking Mr. Reed also, I'm sorry,
So,
the development agreement.
Mayor Latimer, just under items on future agendas, I do believe we need to bring to close the workshops on those development agreements, and maybe council provide some specific direction on, are there changes you want to see, and for the council to give that direction. So if you want one more workshop, then I'd place an item on the agenda so that you can actually take action in case there's not clear consensus in the workshop. And I think that's
I
the
think
direction we
you're
need to go.
saying one more meeting, one more hour of one more meeting for a development agreement workshop? No.
And then
The first
on-
time we met, the second time we met, and this was the third time
was the
with
third.
our,
And to be honest, we haven't had any interaction. We've just been talking about it, and there's been presentations more about it, but then there's not enough time given to have dialogue and discuss. Tonight, we had like 10 minutes left, and then there was just like one question
Yeah, no.
asked, and then
Do you-
it's time to go, move the tables. So there really hasn't been discussion. There have been meetings, but there haven't been discussions.
how would you like to structure the next workshop? Is it really feedback?
I mean, can we, I mean, obviously, some people are not as, that, like, that's not their thing, right? Development agreement isn't their thing in terms of hammering it out, right? So is there a way to have it so that all of council, if they don't want to participate in those discussions, they don't have to come? Like, it's not a mandatory thing for them to take off of work and have to be there early and like all that? Whereas we could really get into the meat of it with like a subcommittee or
It's been my practice that a whole council reviews development agreements.
I understand the idea behind it, but council, like, we all were elected to do this, so we all should be able to have a voice.
I think you should too, but I don't think you should have to.
Right.
I mean, if
We've had 1,001 early meetings. They keep getting earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier. And it feels like there is now this intentionality, well, if you work, you're not really dedicated to being on council. And yeah, you may work, but some of us have other jobs where we're not able to take off the time. And it's never been a problem in our 5+ years on council.
I don't think this
to
is
be
about, excuse
involved.
me, I don't think this is about that. I would like to say this is about special meetings and scheduling a time and a place, an additional special meeting or workshop. So I feel we need to have more development meeting. That's how I feel. So like if you don't want to have additional development meetings, or you think it wouldn't be fair for there to be additional development meetings where the whole council didn't come, then that's okay too. We just need to make the decision for the,
Right, and I was giving my opinion on that.
well,
That I would prefer to have everyone be invited and not
I think
keep
that's
moving
great.
it back and back and back.
so would a Saturday be better?
I can make a Saturday work a little bit better than I
Okay.
can 3 o'clock on a Wednesday.
I agree. I totally agree with that, especially for people who work. So you think of 3 o'clock on a Saturday? Or in the morning on a Saturday? Which would you prefer?
Morning would be better for me personally, but I can work around things.
Mr. McLaughlin, would morning Saturday be okay with you?
Depends on the Saturdays. Half the time I'm out of town in a soccer tournament.
Okay. Okay. So it depends on the Saturday. All right,
Can
well,
we do workshops by teams, or are those required to be in person?
I'll
Because
look
that
to our
would
city
give-
secretary,
Right, 'cause
but
you have to drive
I know
far.
that our city attorney has said that elected officials participating by teams was, the state legislature really ended that after the COVID regulations were uplifted.
Okay, if we could ask him to confirm that that applies to
I will.
workshops and it's not just where votes are taken, then that would be great.
and also if you would submit to the CMO the Saturdays you're available in the next couple of weeks.
I'll have Ms. Perez send
The
an email to
CMO?
the council so that you can provide your availability. She'll provide a list of the Saturdays and you let us know what your availability is.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Ms. Perez will send the entire council an email about the different Saturdays. You respond, she will compile, and we'll identify if there's a date that all of you can participate or some of you can participate. We're
Yeah.
going to go for the one that provides most of you being at the workshop.
Yes, sir, and also planning and zoning.
We will invite them. Mayor, are you all right, though? I'm going to drive it by your availability. I love that you're seeking to have them collaborate, but I don't want their availability to drive the date that you set.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just ask real quick, because since we're multiplying the people that are coming, right? And usually, planning and zoning, they meet once a month with really no expectation for a lot of additional time like council has. Is there any way to do a separate day that's not a council day, maybe just a Thursday in the evening, designated maybe a 6 p.m., so it could be like 6 to 8, and we have enough time, that way it's a weekday, and that way planning and zoning can make accommodations during the week, that way they don't have to necessarily give up their weekend.
I'm taking the direction that you want us to go. We could offer the Saturdays if you want us to offer a day during the week.
Later evenings work a little bit. I can't speak for, I know Jeff works kind of far too. My commute takes anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours to get home, depending on traffic. I-10 and 35 have become absolute nightmares. And so anyone on PNZ or anywhere else coming through that, getting here by 5:30 is a challenge.
Understood,
You never
ma'am.
know. Even if I leave early, it doesn't matter. You hit something.
So 6:30?
6:30 is doable.
Okay.
We could try to, now Thursday was mentioned, we could look for Thursdays on weeks where neither the council or P&Z meet. There are weeks in a month.
Yeah.
And so it would be I'm saying Thursday only because that was offered up. If you want it to be a Tuesday, it could be a Tuesday.
You know, Mr. I think isn't there like a fifth week of the month? I think, no.
We
I think it
get
was
those
the
twice a
fifth
year.
Tuesday, right?
Isn't Thursday a football night? We're having football.
I think if you hit it before Easter next week, it may be
Yeah, we have-
doable versus after, I don't know, when everything kicks up.
The second or the 9th?
The second,
Oh, the policy summit is going
No.
to be taking place the 8th through the 10th.
there's.
There will be 4 of us gone.
And we will avoid that week.
So there's no meeting next Tuesday or next Wednesday or next Thursday per se. I think, wait, who meets, Valerie, who meets the first Thursday of the month? Is that EDC? No. The first Thursday or the first?
Typically, the youth council meets on the first Thursday. However, in April, Mr. Huggins needed to move it to the 6th. It'll be the following Monday.
Okay, so then next Tuesday, is there anything reserved for the chambers?
No, just my birthday.
It's your birthday. Okay, what about Wednesday?
Wednesday would be a parks meeting, but if we needed to, we could move one to the community center.
Not on April 1st?
Thursday would be good because they're already moving their normal. If you can make it on the 2nd, that'd probably be perfect.
The 2nd, Thursday, the April 2nd? Okay.
Okay, I think we have a date, April 2nd. Councilman McLaughlin, April 2nd.
Honestly, it depends. April's Fiesta month, and we're still getting hundreds of invitations that we have to attend. So if I'm not downtown on Fiesta event, I'd be happy to be here. But if I'm downtown working Fiesta, I can't get out.
We understand. You're good, you're good.
Okay.
You're good, okay.
At 6:30?
Yes, at 6:30. Okay. All right, then moving on, I think that we've gotten that all resolved. Moving on to 13A, adjourn the meeting. I have a motion and a second.
Hey there. Okay. You have a priority. They get to go to Europe and you get to stay and support the fiesta. I think you got the short straw.
We're still trying to figure
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is not a good time to be flying, is what I hear. Okay.